much that, except someone has caught you. Like if someone was recording you being weird.
Yeah, it's perfect. I feel like I uploaded one of those to like our Backstage past year. Like, yeah, by the way, here's 30 minutes of me stumbling through every word just so you understand what this is actually like. And I think Leo did that too. And it's like, it's a nice way of knowing that even Leo with his videos, there's like 5 takes per every sentence, just trying to like stitch that thing together.
Oh man. He does have, once in the final product though, it's pretty perfect delivery.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Brian, do you want to count to 5?
Is this a good distance first off?
A little bit closer.
So should I scooch this
You got
in?
it. Yeah, you got it.
So I'm not like hunched over. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. Alex.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect. And the mics, they pick up a lot. So if
Okay.
you're breathing, maybe stay away, then like lean in when you want to talk, that type of thing, as long as you remember to lean in.
So if I-
Tezande style.
Tezande?
Yeah, chocolate rain.
Are you?
Oh, God. Okay.
What a pull.
Yeah. Sorry, man. Too hip.
Okay, it's a Minnesota guy. I figured you would have done content with him by now.
He followed my wife on Twitter once and then unfollowed her when she did not follow back. He's one of those people.
Yeah.
So if I like sneeze or like cough, I should just go way back.
You should do it the other way and don't cover your mouth. But other than that,
I just do it on
It'd be
Brian.
nice.
Okay.
Sneeze
Okay.
onto
Nice.
my microphone.
Okay.
Actually.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
All right. Let's bring this sucker up. All right. Good to go. Okay. Ready to roll?
Ready.
So it's a little something like this. We can start this a little bit later here. Someone's breathing loud. I think it might be you. I don't want to point fingers. Oh, no. Little breathy. Okay, here we go. So you're good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new commentary track from MinnMax. I am Ben Hansen, and this is the one and only commentary track for The Matrix. The room goes wild. The Matrix. Hey! I'm Ben Hansen. I'm here to talk about this movie. I'm joined by Brian Vore, who you know from MinnMax spoilers. You know from his era back at Game Informer. You loved his tweets when he was at 2K, and now you love his tweets at Game Informer. I'm sorry, MinnMax. Dang it!
You work somewhere else now.
Yeah, it's messy. Anyways, Brian Vore, welcome to the studio, sir.
Hey, good to be here. Big Matrix fan. I did a little bit of like reminding myself when certain things came out and all that.
Yeah.
But I purposely did not like watch the movie before watching the movie again. I wanted to kind of come in a little fresh. It's been a little while since I've seen the first one.
Oh, great. So I'm looking forward to you watching this movie for 2.5 hours just in silence, trying to remember and absorb all the good plot details.
I'll just be asking, who's that guy? Who's that?
Right. What are they learning right now? Also, we have a very special guest. This is very exciting. Alex Grenling, welcome to our commentary track.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Right. Okay, couple notes. You're a beautiful man with a beautiful voice.
Yes. This is
not right now, though.
No, this is how my voice always sounds. I always sound like a pack-a-day 70-year-old. Yeah.
Okay, so we just got done with Tim Curry's wedding. That's why you were in town. You're out in Seattle. There's a lot to unpack with you. But number one, you were screaming for a long time at the wedding. Somehow you must have been standing closer to the speaker than the rest of us, and you were screaming louder because your voice is shot.
Well, I don't think it helped that after the flight, my sinuses went insane. So it felt
good.
like I was wearing headphones all the time, so I couldn't actually hear how loud I was.
Perfect.
So I think I was speaking too loudly.
Yes.
And after a year and a half of quarantining and doing no social engagements, I was really going from 0 to 100.
But we couldn't throw this commentary track out the window. We had to do it. And now Alex Renling. People might be like, oh, that name is familiar, I do believe.
No.
Designer. Wonderful designer. You know his art from, I don't know, give me the greatest. So we got Fire Escape logo. Got the redesign of Trivia Tower.
That's right.
Your work. Also, you recommended Jeff Wiggins to be the MinnMax designer as well. So really, you have your fingers in every design pie on the internet, I feel like.
Yeah, it turns out. Yeah. And that's and then before that, we did some Game Informer covers.
That's right.
The E3 covers. Who could forget God of War, E3 2017?
16. Yeah, one of those.
It all mushes together now. But yeah, and then when I'm not doing that stuff, I'm a designer at Bungie. So, work on our team handles all like the marketing materials and We do a lot of emblems for the game and stuff like that. So
That's amazing.
yeah, it's super fun.
This is a whole nother podcast. We're here to talk about the Matrix, but I love that idea of you having your artistic sensibilities and like there's such a strong visual studio over there at Bungie and having to like be absorbed into that machine and just realign your own interests and sensibilities with the Bungie interest. Is it a weird transition to try and like unify everything?
I mean, I was pretty hot on sci-fi stuff
Right.
before going into Bungie, and like I grew up playing Myth and Marathon and Oni a lot.
Yeah,
so
wow.
because I mean I was a Mac kid, so Mac developers were few and far between, and Bungie
Yeah.
was one of the best. So yeah, so I was primed.
So you knew exactly what they were looking for.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
perfect.
I would say Destiny probably has some of the finest emblems in gaming, right?
Oh sure, then thanks.
I think
Yeah.
that's a very fair statement. Yeah.
Excellent
I think
emblems.
so. I think Bungie cares about design in a way that a lot of game studios don't, and that's why I like working there.
Yeah, and that's why we like The Matrix, everybody. We're here. I've wanted to do a commentary track for The Matrix for a while, and then the new trailer dropped for Matrix Resurrections. I was like, okay, this feels like the time to do it. And I remember, Alex, you gave me crap more than anybody else because there was a screening of The Matrix in the cities years ago before you moved away.
That's right.
And I didn't go to it, and I felt like a huge jerk. And that was when it was cemented in my mind of like, you might be upper tier for Matrix fans. So this seems like an opportunity you shouldn't pass up. We should get you while you're in town to come over here into the studio and actually talk about the original Matrix for the entire running time of the original Matrix, I'd argue.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Well, then I'm glad you're here for it.
This wasn't clear ahead of time.
Yes, sir.
Is there a video component to this commentary, or is it completely audio?
There is if you're at the Backstage Pass too. So
Okay.
technically that camera's live.
But
Oh,
when
it's
someone
live,
watches
oh.
it later, will there be video footage, or is it just audio only
I mean, of the Matrix?
of us?
Of us. They can if they're at the $10 tier. Otherwise, they're probably just listening to this as a podcast.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know why you would watch The Matrix if you couldn't also watch us.
Right.
Watch us
next
watching
to The Matrix.
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. But no, we have the Matrix queued up on HBO Max right here. I imagine all the versions are roughly similar, but we're going to tell you exactly when to press play on this thing so everybody can sync it up at home.
Should be noted that it's on the HBO Max. They went to the effort of putting it in 4K,
Ooh.
Dolby Atmos. I'm
Ooh.
sure that's happening on this television here.
This is an old Game Informer TV,
Oh,
by the way.
okay.
I think this is like Jeffem's old TV from The Office. So
It's been through a lot.
Oh, yeah, but it's looking great. All right, I'm going to hit play I'm going to say go after one. So if you really want to be precise at home, you can do it. All right, in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, hang on. There's an ad.
ad.
There's a horrific ad. Ignore it. Okay, hang on. Now it's for real. Hang on. Okay, hang on, though. Okay, this is going to be perfect. So hang on.
This is
So
tricky.
this is the ad, and then you got to skip the ad. Okay, so we're after the ad. After the ad at the start, if you're watching an HBO Go.
We're at
Otherwise,
31 seconds in.
31 seconds in. I'll tighten this part up. Okay, so if you're watching an HBO Max, we are after the ad, the 30-second ad, and we're going to hit play and start the original Matrix in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Starting strong.
The custom logo is just the classiest way to start off any movie.
Any movie, it gets you in the mood for it. Especially, you got the green, you got style out of the gate here.
At this point, you don't know what the green is all about, even.
That's true.
That's right. Maybe from the marketing, you've gotten hints.
I don't even think they leaned into it that much. They leaned in real heavy to what is the Matrix
Yes.
during this campaign.
Right. Which always made me laugh because that was the big thing. Is like, oh, this movie's impossible to understand. I remember that. I mean, I was 12 when this movie came out. And that was the big thing is everybody was just talking about how confusing this movie, what a fun movie this was, but also like good luck wrapping your mind around it. What is the Matrix? It's impossible to understand. There's literally a scene in the movie where Morpheus says, this is what the Matrix is. Like, it's not a great mystery. It's very clearly laid out. It's just, it's a little heady, but it's not impossible to understand.
It's like the baby step towards movies like Inception, I feel like. Like,
Right.
you had to have this to get to that.
Yes, I suppose so.
Before it even came out, do you guys remember seeing the Super Bowl commercial for The Matrix?
Yes. I lost my mind. That
was before you like knew trailers were coming and didn't anticipate them on the internet. But that just came out of nowhere. I just always watch the ads. It's Super Bowl, and I remember the train. Well, we won't go ahead of ourselves, but it looked totally amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Wait, you can talk about the train?
The train flip, and I think there might have been some lobby scene stuff, like basically all the cool action stuff that you'd never seen before in your entire life.
Right.
You're like, whoa, when's this movie come out? And it's like, 6 to 8 months away. We're like, oh, it's on my calendar now.
Oh, God.
But it was probably one of the most effective trailers I ever remember, like back when I was younger.
Yeah. Why are these subtitles out of order?
They're a little ahead.
They're very weird.
I tell you what, I will figure this timing thing out. I'm going to try refreshing this. I know this is probably sacrilegious. I think I can do it. Jump back in at 246. All right, I think I can do this.
It's because the machines always know what's about to happen before it happens.
Yeah, they're trying to disrupt us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this seems about right.
So far, no captions.
Yeah. I think this is all right. Okay, so now we're looking at the door 303, so I can line this stuff up later.
Nod.
Kick!
Yeah.
Oh, this is synced. I mean, Alex, walk me through. What's your history with The Matrix?
What's my what of The Matrix?
Your history with The Matrix.
My history with them. We saw it opening weekend before like all the hubbub happened. Let's see, I guess this was 1999.
Yeah.
So I was 14. Arguably the perfect time to see. This is what I think about a lot in my like history with media is like super into Metal Gear Solid, probably because I experienced it when I was 13.
Yes.
Which is the perfect age to experience like a ridiculous borderline anime,
so
military. So and then after that, I went home. I bought the soundtrack for this movie and listened to it obsessively, and it introduced me to things like Rage Against the Machine and Deftones and Marilyn Manson. Well, I knew who Marilyn Manson was.
Right. Dragula, that's when you began your lifelong commitment to
My
Dragula.
first album ever purchased was Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe, baby.
I mean, it's a good year, an era for Dragula, because also it was like Twisted Metal 4, where that song was just looping all the time. Was it 3 or 4?
Yes.
Okay, everybody, I think we should do a drinking game real quick. Anytime there's a 360 camera move. So if you take a drink, everyone at home too.
All right, sorry, I got it.
Sorry, Ben, continue.
No, I'm totally with you, Alex. I was really thinking about this. Seeing this movie when you're 12, it is not conceivable to imagine a cooler movie. I still think this movie is objectively probably the coolest movie ever made. But at 12, it's just that perfect moment of starting to question a lot of things. And then there's a movie that's all about, hey, if you're really into computers more than other people, which you are when you're 12 in 1999, and also reality might not be what you think, and people might not understand what's really going on here, but you do. That is just the ultimate power fantasy. It's just perfect.
This was also the era of Fight Club, which also had a great soundtrack.
Yes.
And got you to question society.
I mean, honestly, this is the larger point, but 1999 in film is one of the craziest years of all time. Here, let's go through. Well, we got a lot to go through with The Matrix here.
There's a lot, but there's also Star Wars Episode 1 was 99, right?
Yes, of course. Sixth Sense, also all about questioning everything you know.
Oh my God.
Oh, 10 Things I Hate About You, fantastic. She's All That, people never stop talking about that. Bicentennial Man, no, but American Beauty, Magnolia, Fight Club. I mean, come on, well, Big Daddy, Sleepy Hollow, Man on the Moon, Green Mile.
Here, I think.
There's good stuff. There's good stuff in there.
I think one thing that has not changed since this movie came out is that middle-aged white men in suits are still the bad guys of society.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
True then, true now.
We were all very evil at Tim's wedding the other night.
Yeah, the sunglasses were a bit much. I feel like we need to do that.
Oh, man, it's all coming back. Like every frame is just like totally a comic book.
Oh,
that shot of
360.
Is that technical? Oh, she did a 360 in the
Oh,
shot.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, her at the bottom of the stairs with those guns.
Yes. Jump it. That's I think the first window break This movie has tons of like metaphors of breaking through windows, going through mirrors.
Okay.
Trinity
is the first, the pioneer.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff in this.
And this is very Dorgan. Remember her like talking to me like Trinity get up. I always thought like, oh, that's like in Jurassic Park when Laura Dern's like, run. Which is like outside the station. Like, I love women in movies motivating themselves by talking to themselves. That's really my thing.
It's a very specific thing.
I know. So I didn't see this movie until it was out on video, which seems absurd. I can't believe I missed this in the theaters. I remember,
feel like this was everyone's first DVD.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
With that cardboard wraparound and then the little plastic snap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think technically mine was Gladiator, but this was certainly close to it. And then they kept re-releasing this with like new bonus features and stuff. There's so many different editions of DVDs for The Matrix.
Oh, for sure. The Matrix... I don't want to get too far into it, but The Matrix Revisited was really huge for me. I watched that a lot.
Yeah.
It was like a feature length behind the scenes, and I was like, wow, everything they did was magic, and how did they think of it?
Yes.
Like, just seeing it all done, like, shown, and like, wow, they all did that kung fu for real. They were trained by this, like, super huge master, and they just trained for months and months, and, like, that stars really didn't do that before.
No.
Right. And haven't done a lot of it since. But it's interesting because, like, Keanu Reeves has been kind of a mainstay in like insisting on training for movies, and like there was a lot of publicity about that for John Wick and stuff, where he was like going through like gun training and stuff, and they don't have to cut away a ton during his scenes because of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looks great in every movie. I mean,
the Keanu
he's also very cute in this movie.
He's very cute.
He's just a little baby.
All of them are cuties.
20 years ago.
Hang on. Yeah, this movie's just full of cuties. And, you know, the agents all look
Everyone's a cutie. Look at them.
How crazy, though, like, I just thought about this now.
Yeah.
Phone booths are the primary way of getting out of the Matrix.
Right.
What are they doing in the new one here?
Well, so they actually go into that a little bit in this movie, in that the Matrix is set in, like, the pinnacle of humanity, which was the 90s. So theoretically, if it just stays the 90s all the time, there's always it's hard lines. There's always hard lines in the Matrix.
So is the deal with the Matrix? Oh, there's going to be a lot of Matrix lore questions, but it's like the idea that it's from like 1900 to 2000 that it resets. It's just like that 100 years, or is the Matrix literally always the 90s and it's on a 10-year loop?
I think it's just perpetually the 90s. Like
the new trailer doesn't feel like the 90s though. Maybe they would change it with the new version. I mean, of where things were rebooted at the end of Revolutions. They finally said, let the clocks move on or something.
Anything I could hypothesize would be more boring than what Lana and Lily Wachowski could come up with. 100%.
Yeah.
So the new movie is just Lana, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I wonder, is Lily credited at all as like a story credit or anything at all?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, because she had a comment where she talked about like, I don't really want to go back and live in the past. Like, I've been through so much in my life. The idea of just like retreading that old ground, which I think is the natural creative instinct. But then it's interesting then because Lana, she had a quote recently where she said that she
used it to kind of get over her parents.
It was something I forget if it was as specific as like she had a dream about her parents, but just that idea she was just dwelling on her parents' death, and she thought, I wish I could revive them. Well, who are my parents in the creative world? It's Trinity and Neo. I could revive them and make everybody happy, just like I'd like to be happy like my parents are alive again. It's like, that's a simple core idea, but I'm glad you're at least inspired by something instead of just Warner Brothers backing up the truck of money.
They've said that Warner Brothers has tried to back up that truck of money over the years, and then they turned them down. Yeah, so and that's why I'm excited for the next one, is because I don't feel like she would make it unless she had a reason.
Do you think? How many people you think got this tattoo after this movie came out?
Oh
so
my
many.
God! Yeah,
I might go get that tattoo after this commentary.
It reminds me that we should all just do it after this wraps up.
There we go.
We can wear our tank tops, look great.
Hey, dumb question. Dragula. What is the song about? Slam in the back of my Dragula?
The Dragula is the name of the vehicle, I believe.
Oh.
And that's why Twisted Metal was so attached to it?
I'd never put those two together. Okay. That makes sense.
Maybe
is it like Dracula's Batmobile, basically?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
What a cutie.
Yeah.
All cuties.
Did you guys know Carrie Ann Moss at all before The Matrix?
No.
I mean,
I didn't.
No,
I did
people
not.
did, right?
No. she's got such a distinct vibe in this movie. It's not like, look, attractive lady, but there's definitely that feeling of just like seeing her in the movies. Like, I've never seen like a female lead like be this interesting looking. Yeah. She's got such a unique vibe to her. She's so cool.
Her comment right there where he goes, Jesus, I thought you were a guy. And she said, most guys do. Right. It's like, so there's a lot, like, I'm not going to talk about it much because I'm like a cis white dude, but like this movie has become kind of a transgender text. And I think that's really interesting. Given that who were the Wachowski brothers when they made this are now the Wachowski sisters. Yeah. But with that in mind, it's a very different movie when you watch it from that lens.
Well, I guess like originally as well, the character of Switch, like the reason she's called Switch is she's supposed to be a man
outside.
Okay. Yeah.
'Cause my understanding was that the woman who plays Switch, they had cast her as the Matrix counterpart to that character. Right. And then she was going to be a man outside of the Matrix. Yes. And then Warner Brothers squashed that idea.
Oh, it's so dumb.
Yeah. So instead they just made her very androgynous to like try to toe that line. But
is Switch the not like this?
Yes. Not like this.
Switch is the not like this.
This is your first time watching the Matrix.
It would be a very weird way to absorb the Matrix for the first time. The other thing that I always heard about Warner Brothers interfering with the movie is, and I'm so angry about this, is the idea that the reason the machines were harvesting humans. What's that?
Windows again.
There we go.
Yep. Anyway, machines are harvesting. Sorry.
The whole idea of like, oh no, they're like batteries was always like, okay, sure. But I heard that originally the idea was that they were supposed to be using the human brains for like a neural network. Because it turns out that the brain is like the greatest computer of all. And so if you could wire all these humans together, you could greatly expand the potential of what AI could do.
So that seems like way better. Yeah.
It's a much cooler idea than just, what is it? Heat? What is the whole? We make the best batteries? Yeah. How? Why?
I mean,
gotta be way better.
We are reproducible batteries, self-replicating batteries. Double A's don't make baby double A's.
That's true.
So
I guess so, but
one thing of note here, real quick. Well, that scene in particular, now it's not that way, but as we know, the green tint means you're in the Matrix, and blue means you're out. But that office scene was undeniably very blue, right?
So, yes.
Yes.
Now we're back to green at his cubicle.
I think one thing, they went back and did a color pass on these movies after the sequels came out.
Oh, that's right.
In that they made all of the Matrix stuff more green than it was in the theatrical release.
That shot right there, that quick camera movement, always so cool.
You can now recreate it with iPhone 13 with that.
Honestly, have you seen that stuff, Alex?
Yeah.
That really looks impressive.
Yeah, it really does.
The idea of post editing on the focus, I don't even know of any professional cameras that do that. I'm sure they exist, but
how big are those files? Because they have to be recording the focal, every focal depth when they do that, right?
Yes.
Well, and I mean, I know they expanded the storage space as well. Sure. I think it goes up to 1 terabyte now on the Pro, maybe.
It just feels like wild overkill.
How much hard drive space do you think this banana phone had?
Did you guys? Was this a widely available phone or was it custom for the movie?
It was widely available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was too early for me to get a cell phone at this point.
Yeah, same. All the sunglasses in this movie are custom, I believe.
So afterwards, someone had to have.
Yeah, I'm sure
they had to put them out officially, right?
Yeah.
Like they're the coolest sunglasses in the world.
Have you seen? Has anybody seen Bound, the first Wachowski movie?
I always wanted to go back and watch that.
I know. I've been meaning to as well. But can you imagine having the confidence as filmmakers to release this as your second film? And I really listened to the Blank Check podcast series about The Matrix not too long ago, which is very good. And they brought up naturally people give the second and third movies in The Matrix a lot of crap, but it's if you look at the Wachowskis' filmography, it's like their third and fourth films ever. Can you imagine trying to tackle that that early in your career? It's really a lot.
Well, it's weird because that happens a lot now with the way Marvel handles movies, where they take indie directors and then they're here's $150 million.
Right.
Make Ant-Man.
Yes.
And then don't make Ant-Man. And then we're going to get someone else to make Ant-Man.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about Marvel in a lot of ways is that it seems to, by and large, always work out. I'm still looking at the Eternals like, I feel like it's gotta falter. I feel like it's going to fall apart. But the track record is just undeniable at this point. There's something about that process that apparently is so efficient and supportive of the filmmakers where it seems like it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
They try it on Star Wars, and I think that's maybe what you were alluding to, is that a lot of people like start out on a Star Wars movie and then like something goes wrong.
Yeah.
We don't know whose side it is, but they get pulled off it and have to go do something else, and they have to pull in like Ron Howard or somebody.
He's passing through a window.
He's doing it.
God.
I'm just going to be the window
No,
guy.
I love it.
This
No,
is my
please.
thing.
You are on message for the Matrix.
No,
I
it's
love
good.
it. Yeah, I always loved there was like one, I think maybe did more than one, but I remember there was like one quote talking to Lord and Miller about working on Solo and how scary it was and intimidating. And they had a very sweet line of like, yep, it's scary. It's obviously huge, but we keep thinking back to that scene in Hoosiers where they're at the championship game and then Gene Hackman brings the team out into the court and he takes out the tape measure and he measures the height of the basketball hoop and he measures the free throw line just to like reconfirm to everybody like it's the exact same. Don't be intimidated by the surroundings. Like, you just got to do the basics. It's the exact same as always. It's like, oh, that's a beautiful way to look at it for Lord and Miller as they were trying to wrangle Solo. And then they're unceremoniously canned weeks later.
Yeah, I mean, the other like big notable example of that was Edgar Wright was supposed to direct Ant-Man.
Right.
Hey, and so this is an interesting shot right here.
Because it's like the Architects.
You see this in the Architects room.
Yeah. So do you think this is... I mean, canonically, do you think the Wachowskis see this as that's the architect watching this transition to the interrogation scene?
I mean, I think even if they retconned it, it's a good retcon because it like fits. This is one of my favorite details when they open this up. All the font that they use on his dossier is all OCRB, which is a font developed in the 60s so that machines could read Latin.
Huh.
And, so
what?
It's
that's the designer talking.
Yeah, good God.
So it's like a really good detail that the machines would print all of this out in OCR.
Oh,
that's amazing.
God, Hugo Weaving was just, his delivery was like so unique and creepy and machine-like.
Yeah.
It was like just the perfect casting.
Oh, and it's wild because this was like, there was like a Hugo Weaving, like he was in Lord of the Rings as Elrond.
Hubbard, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, we just did the full commentary tracks for Lord of the Rings, so I'm very familiar with his character's name, and we can move right past it without me having to tell you.
Rhonda?
I didn't think it is Elrond.
Yeah. There you go.
I mean, he was on fire here.
He was a Red Skull in Captain America.
That's right.
And then it seems like for the new Matrix, for Avengers, I can't remember. Did he have anything in The Hobbit, or because he's old, so he.
I would think he was in The Hobbit, but no one knows for sure.
But there's been something wrong.
Who can say, really?
There's been something up where he just hasn't either been able to like come to deals, I think, with studios for big follow-ups.
I just assumed that he must be a prick, and that's what's going on.
Well,
here.
for Red Skull, he hated wearing the makeup, and he was like, I don't want to come back and do that makeup. Hey, man.
How bad would that makeup have to be like, I'm passing up the idea of being in Infinity War because I don't like the makeup?
I don't think he's a dick. For the sole reason of he's in V for Vendetta.
Okay, that's true.
He's in another Wachowski movie, I think. So they have like a good relationship.
That is true. Like, and I always like that idea of you can tell who's a jerk in Hollywood when it's like the one and done versus like when a director works with somebody, they're like, let's just keep having you in all my movies. That's a really good sign. Like, this person's actually great to work with.
Or they're all dicks and they just like each other's company.
I think that's more likely. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Leo Scorsese relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you get the vibe that Leo is cool and nice? I mean, he's a great actor, but he must get really along well with Scorsese.
Now, here we go. How about I give you the finger? This scene. Yeah. This is my biggest obsession with The Matrix, other than the concept of The Matrix, is I think, I still argue, most successful film ever made with the smallest amount of comedy in it. No real jokes. Yeah. That line right there, how about I give you the finger, is joke-wise about a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10 maybe.
Yeah.
And that might be the high point of the film comedically.
Yeah, but
no problem. Normally, I hate movies that don't try and be funny. This movie, it's so cool. I got no beef with it. It's just notable that every other successful film has jokes in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that joke is also in character for Neo, who spends a predominant amount of his time in front of a computer screen.
Okay.
Not interacting with actual people.
Right.
By the way, this is the creepiest thing. Like, do you ever have nightmares about the
No.
like, this is nuts.
But it's amazing that I don't. Do you think this is more disturbing or the bug in the belly button?
The bug in the belly button.
Yeah, that's the one that messes me up. Because I feel like I can feel that more of what that would look like.
That has the same like ape brain thing where it's like watching Alien and like watching things either go out or into a body is uncomfortable.
Places it should not be. I love like the weird liquid thing and then how it like pops out of there with the weird tentacles.
Yeah.
Like that. Honestly, that's just a tiny bit of detail of world building of like, this is the way these work. They need their extra shell, then it builds up, then it basically pops out of the cocoon. It's just like a little bit unnecessarily too big. It's just 50% too large for this entire process.
Dislike.
Keanu's little happy trail there.
And honestly, how good did both those shots look? Like the mouth sealing up, flawless. That right there, flawless. For 1999?
There's so much bad CG from that era.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like a lot of it is... Sorry, go ahead.
Even from 5 years ago, there's plenty of CG that looks
terrible.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is... you see this in games a lot, too. When you shoot for the latest and greatest cutting edge, you run the risk of it looking fake. Whereas when you stay within well-trodden means and don't try to push it too far... that game will like age a little bit. Like Team Fortress 2, I think, is a great example of that.
Right.
Where it's like,
it
doesn't look like the latest Unreal game, and it still looks great today.
Right.
Or even like Nintendo games, like their cartoony aesthetic, like is pretty much timeless.
Oh yeah, but like in the movie realm, I think it always pays off to keep the CG largely to the robots. Like I really think. Well, I remember with Matrix Reloaded. Reading like this big Newsweek. I was a big Newsweek fan in high school, and they had a whole issue that was like the Matrix issue, Reloaded and Revolutions are coming out in 2003. This will be great. And in
Suicide
that article,
Door, very cool. Sorry.
Yeah, that is cool.
It is cool. Turns out every shot in this movie is
in
cool.
a car count as windows?
What's that?
Do windows in a car count as windows?
Sure. I mean, they pass through a wall of water. Water is often a symbol of like rebirth and growth.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, Switch. So cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, but with in that article about Matrix Reloaded, they had this whole section about like, the line where you can tell if something's CG or not, it's all torn down in Matrix Reloaded. Like we've seen the Agent Smith fight, we can't tell what's real and what's not. And then you look at it now and it's just laughable. But I believe personally the first time in my life watching a movie where I think that line was truly shattered was with another robot, just like with the way that thing still looks so good. Like robots look so good. But it was K2SO in Rogue One. Like it looks so unbelievably good. I really could not tell if there was anything physical on that set or not.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah. Stick to robots, everybody. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Robot versus a Jar Jar situation.
Yeah,
right.
Hard surfaces are easier to render, I think, than fleshy bits with lots of layers.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what's crazy. I mean, with the little, jumbo shrimp crawling in his belly button. Like, there's a lot to that. It's not like it's just a cylinder going in his stomach.
I love this contraption.
I think it's a gun from Metro. Yeah.
Yeah, like things like this is like you look at a lot of like
to plug it in the cigarette adapter. It doesn't require that much power.
You see like in like old Star Wars things where they're like, oh yeah, we just made this like fancy ray gun out of I don't know, a vacuum parts.
Right.
And like I'm sure this is the exact same thing.
It's like what Empire Strikes Back has, like the ice cream maker or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
God.
This.
And then they have the stuff under the stomach, like that looks great.
Yeah, the ultrasound.
Yeah.
Oh, the X-Files under the skin roaches. Oh, gross. I don't think belly buttons work like that.
You think it's not just a gateway, you're saying?
I don't think it's a gateway.
It's not a Metroid door? Don't leave it out there. I don't trust that it's dead. That thing is coming back in Resurrections, by the way. Yeah.
It's going to be a big
plot point. The light comes back on.
You thought you were done with me?
I thought of one other possibly funny part. I won't say it until it happens. But we'll see if it's funnier than the finger.
Oh, really? Okay. I think I have a contender in my mind as well.
Okay, we'll see if it's the same thing when it gets there.
Okay. Can you give me a ballpark of what you're thinking?
Don't do it. Don't give in. Don't give in, Brian.
Give that ballpark.
Rooftop.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Not what I was thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I think I got you. The greatest reveal, the slow turn with Morpheus.
With the lightning bolt.
Oh. And so, obviously, everybody with Matrix Resurrections is confused about, is that supposed to be Morpheus? What exactly is happening here? Yeah. But he doesn't have, like, the gap in his teeth, right? And so...
Well, I think the bigger point of contention is that Morpheus canonically died in the Matrix Online.
This is the thing.
So, I don't know. Again,
Hey, you know who else canonically died? Is Neo and Trinity.
In actual movies.
Right.
Sure.
So I don't know. I love that headline that people are running with, that like, oh, the Wachowskis consider Matrix Online such a core lore component that they're sticking with it. I'm still skeptical that is the actual reason of what's going on here.
Yeah, I truly believe that they have a plan that explains this. This was not a haphazard decision to not have Lawrence Fishburne back in the movie.
Right.
There have been interviews with him too, where he's kind of had like his feelings are a little bit hurt that they didn't reach out to him at all.
Oh, Larry.
It's like every freelance client that I had when I was a designer who used me for years and then just one day wouldn't call.
Really?
Like, they just didn't use me this year.
You were the Lawrence Fishburne.
I was Larry.
And they got a new Gremlin. Canonically, you died.
In an MMO. Oh, if only I could canonically die in an MMO. What a legacy.
Was that the first footage you guys have ever watched of The Matrix Online? Was that new clip?
I'd probably seen bits and pieces. Because I visited Monolith a couple times, so like trying to do my research on Monolith before going to that studio. I feel like I probably looked up the old GameSpot video review or something. Now here's my question about the film. These chairs, iconic, dirty, raunchy chairs.
Yes.
Do they like those chairs because they remind them of chairs in the real world? Because that feels like a chair that could exist in the real world.
This scene is kind of like a gateway to the real world.
So they're trying to make the crappiest Matrix room possible?
It makes sense. I don't know. Maybe... I mean, their whole thing is like hacking the Matrix to make it do what they want.
Right.
Maybe just a bad hacker. This was the best chairs that they could hack into the Matrix.
No, but I like the idea of trying to ease him in slowly by just making things worse and worse. That's why they made it raining and crappy. Like, hope you don't like the sunshine because you ain't getting it when you come to the real world, buddy.
Sure.
Yeah.
How many times do you think Morpheus has explained this to people?
I know, right?
Well, that's
does everyone get a full speech, or do like lower tier people get like a quick? Here's a PowerPoint, or like read this packet and then just hop in here.
I mean, he basically thinks Neo is Jesus at this point, so it makes sense that he would like pull out all the stops in this intro specifically.
He gets the top tier intro to the Matrix.
Yeah.
But I do love any movies like this, and this might be top of the heap for this idea of Morpheus being the coolest MFer you could ever imagine.
Oh yeah.
And then by the end of this movie, and even in 2 and 3, he's like, oh, he's just a person, right? Well, so now I'm up in my head about is he really getting off on the idea of how cool and reserved he's being right now? Does he like being this cagey?
Yeah. In this shot specifically, there's a shot of his glasses, this iconic thing.
Yeah.
And in one of the shots, you can't see it, but they actually had the camera is visible, but they draped it in black so that you can't see it in the reflection of his glasses. And I'm not sure which shot it is in particular, but they actually did that shot in lens, like in camera.
That one there?
Yeah.
Really?
With the glasses?
No.
No. There's a camera somewhere in the shot. I'm not crazy.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, one of your patrons will tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. So,
did you guys memorize which pill is which, or did you have to
I think it was something.
Look it up every time.
I had to look up an Alta Vista repeatedly.
Red pill is to get out, right? Because red is the cool color. That's my brain canon.
Oh,
right,
okay, all right.
Red is the cool color.
Yep, I think that's the way it works.
But
I love
you're going to the
screens.
blue land, so why wouldn't the blue pill make sense?
The blue land, as they call it. I love just that quick passing walk by Cypher, and he gets to give him that look like, oh boy. It's just, if you're really paying attention to these background characters, they're all coming back in. Yep. Everybody's got the tech they need. This is so cool. Okay. That's right. So I like that the pill isn't just like a symbol. It's like it's actually having effects on his body.
Yeah.
You need to actually do this.
Really,
I love that shot of the thunder striking. Switch looks over.
That really should be a GIF used for a lot of things.
just cut to that scene after a climactic moment of her looking and the thunder clapping. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's always so funny watching like the older movies don't have as many GIFs pulled from them, but when you're watching a movie now and you get to GIFable scenes and you're like, oh, that's the GIF part, like
including like when you watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and you go, oh, that's the GIF part, and you do the actual thing from the GIF part.
Yep. I very much had that with Parks and Recreation. Waiting for the what's his name, Chris Pratt. Yeah, when he's doing like the ooh, like that GIF, it takes a long time for it to get to that part.
Oh God, yeah, I'm convinced that 20 years from now, people will be confused about The Office being an actual show instead of just a series of GIFs.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the T1000 makes its appearance.
Still cool.
It still looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Who would have thought reflective surface would be like from T2 and this like still hold up?
Oh God. I remember my favorite part about this is at some point he says it's cold.
Yeah.
Which I was always like, that would be the least of my concerns if I was being swallowed by a mirror.
I also his yell like gets all
oh my God.
Digital.
It's my favorite. God damn it, this movie's cool.
And at this point, first time, you have no idea what the hell is going on.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, all you have to trust is that the people around you kind of look cool and you're into Trinity and she said it was great. It sounds like a game over screen.
It's
like
so good.
I remember rewinding that over and over again just to hear it. Like brilliant sound design. It's so fun.
There was that clip in the new trailer of him had like recreating this, right?
Yeah. Well, then also there was also the shot in the background of the trailer of the stuff actually coming up. So it's like that's still from The Matrix. So the big debate based on the first trailer for Matrix Resurrections, if you're listening to this in the future, I'm sorry we're so stupid. Based on the first trailer, the question is, like, is the Matrix canon within the Matrix? Is the idea that, my favorite theory is the idea that the machines kept the Matrix films in the Matrix as a way to dissuade people from thinking the Matrix is real, because what better way than to make a popular hit series of films about the exact concept, which is reality, but everybody thinks it's fiction. It's the ultimate play if you're an AI.
Well, I remember in the Matrix Online, like one of the factions were like people that were like, yeah, we're in a computer and it's better this way.
Right,
So maybe the Matrix Resurrections is the next step in the long con of convincing us that we're happy in the simulation to not try to break it. And I think that's it. David Mitchell is one of the writers in Matrix Resurrections, and I really like his books, but the one everyone knows is Cloud Atlas, which deals a lot with reincarnation and like spirits coming back into different people and self-image and all of that.
Yeah.
So,
now the Wachowskis did a Cloud Atlas.
Yes, they did do a Cloud
I read
Atlas.
the book and I never saw the movie.
I want to watch. I haven't read the book or seen the movie.
Oh,
and I was like, I really
when it's
should.
popping off. Oh, his spine. Oh my God.
They have a flushing mechanism.
Yeah, this gross slip and slide.
Yeah, when you say they're making were you supposed to be able to see him wearing underwear there? Is the idea that he's supposed to be naked?
You see it a couple times. I guess there's some coverage. Maybe it's to collect waste. Like that was like the.
It's like a diaper.
The diaper that flushes it out.
A machine diaper.
I remember being confused about this. Like, just swim, but it's not like it's special water. The idea is just that he does not know how to use his body at this point.
Yeah.
So he can't even swim.
All of his muscles are atrophied.
And the Toy Story scene here.
Yes, the claw.
God, I remember loving this movie, but this sequence really freaked me out the first time that I watched it. Like, it's just so gross.
I think it's shocking too. Yeah. Like, this is what the real world is,
Right.
Yeah. It's appropriately like violent and uncomfortable.
And it's again like that penetrative stuff of like having that like drill screw in the back. It's not just a simple mechanism. Everything is like thought through. Ooh. You get to feel what all these things are like. You know what it's like when bunch of tubes pop out of your spine just because it looks so eye-catching here. Do you think he actually shaved his eyebrows here?
I don't know.
Is that some beautiful makeup?
I don't know how quickly eyebrows grow back.
It takes a while.
Oh, yes? From experience.
I don't know from experience, but I when people have to do bets or something and they shave them off and then they're just like stupidly on videos for months afterwards, like, waiting for these babies to come back.
Oh, God.
Wow. How did he's speaking of brows, they're already immediately back on?
Yeah, he did it. Maybe they just painted him on. Oh.
Yeah, we don't know what his emotions are. Like, what is he feeling unless he has the brows?
I do. It's cliche to say all the lines that blew your mind when you watch these movies back in the day, but like, yeah, that one was like,
yeah,
why do my eyes hurt? It's like, oh, it's such a cool idea.
Delivered so casually by old Larry there.
Right. Oh, just digging in there like some gross game of Operation.
God.
Where's the Matrix Surgeon Simulator where you have to remove someone's? Yeah.
That is one thing with the new movie. Like, there was so much tie-in in the 2 and 3 at least. Mm-hmm. It doesn't. Is there anything for 4?
I mean, the biggest mystery for me is we don't know what Monolith is doing. And so they did Matrix Online, and it seemed like Shadow of War. Oh, when he pulls the tube out of his arm. Blah. But it seems like Shadow of War was a good stopping point for that series. And so if Warner Brothers was going to tap any studio to make some Matrix tie-in thing, my fingers are crossed that that's what they're working on, is some great Matrix game, but I have no idea.
The Path of Neo 2.
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. Yeah. Are you guys both big Into the Matrix fans?
I never really played them that much.
When it came out, I did play it.
Yeah.
It was, looking back, I was like, oh my God, this came out right when part 2 did.
Yeah.
And they were intertwined story-wise.
Very lightly. Like, here's how Niobe got her ship or whatever, right?
And it was even tied to the Animatrix, where the final flight of the Osiris, they dropped off a package saying, like, hey, the machines are drilling down to get Zion. You guys should really know that. And so she picks it up, and they're delivering it, I think. I looked up the story again. I'm like, oh, this made zero sense.
Yeah.
But how cool is it that the directors were directly involved with writing it, and they shot like an hour of movie quality footage as the cutscenes?
I need to go watch those cutscenes, because there are stories of like Jada Pinkett Smith sincerely was confused about what they were filming at times. Like, is this for the movie? Is this for the game? Like, and that level of blurring the line is fascinating. Oh, that shot of Trinity taking off the welding is so cool.
Yeah.
Damn it. This was around the same time.
Cypher, what a name. My name's Cypher.
Oh, Tank just disappears.
God. And then Mouse, who I think is I guess their attempt at comedic relief. I think that's as close as the movie gets outside of the middle finger. Is Mouse is kind of like a weird pervy guy, and that's their joke. But I was so into this movie, and believe it or not, at the same time in my life, I was playing a lot of Legend of Legaia on PlayStation 1, the RPG.
Whoa.
And I remember I named my party members Switch and Dozer.
Nice.
In honor of my favorite buds from this movie. Well, there we go. Strap in the feet.
I'm pretty sure at some point I had Final Fantasy IX party members named after these characters.
Ooh, perfect. Yeah. And of course, it maps out like Zidane is Neo. That's boring.
Yep.
Trinity is
Dagger. Tiff? Wasn't it Tiff?
Well, it's Dagger and Garnet.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, yeah.
Garnet, oh, wait, no, Tiff is a Final Fantasy set. I played Remake. Tifa, sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, this is like the best exposition in any movie.
Yeah, make it visual. Make it fun.
Yeah.
This could have been so lame, but now we get to be in this environment and we can show you anything at any point. Oh, as he says, anything.
And it's also just cool, like the idea of like a simulation that's separate from, like, not connected to the network of the Matrix. Like, they're not in the Matrix here. They're in a separate program.
Loading program.
Yeah.
A little side boot, right?
They're in Gary's mod right now.
Right. I just had an epiphany, and I'm sure Matrix fans are way ahead of me. God, this looks cool. See, there we go. So the chairs. They do love those chairs.
Yeah.
What is real? God, he does such a good job in all these delivers. But what about this theory? What if everybody wears sunglasses in the Matrix, because they need to, because in the real world everything's so dark and cloudy that it's actually like some sort of, there's a reason for it, because they're probably shocked by how bright it is in the Matrix all the time.
That would make sense.
Well, it's like all the agents wear sunglasses,
right?
And then once you're awakened to the Matrix, you then wear sunglasses, because Neo was not wearing sunglasses up until this point.
He had to learn to love them.
Yeah, that's right.
How many takes do you think were ruined by Morpheus's sunglasses just falling off comically, like in the middle of delivery?
They've got to be super glued to his nose, right?
Have to be.
But
just can you imagine
through
like
a screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. They go in and out of screens so much in this movie. It's to the point where you don't even know what's real.
Desert of the real. I love that. Thunder. They have programmed the thunder to hit at the perfect moments at all times here. Yeah. They're in control of that. That's Cypher's main job, is programming thunder.
You know, you could name this new studio of yours Desert of the Real.
Are you serious? I could do that? Just a huge sign. Everyone's like, all right, buddy.
Okay.
We all like 1999, but you got to let it go.
I'm trying to like picture what the technology was in 1999 when Neo is like receiving all of this information. Because like in his world, in the Matrix, it's like PlayStation 1.
Right.
So this is a lot to take in when you're not like running realistic graphics and
but it is past Virtual Boy, so I think that is a good frame of reference for everything they're going through. It's largely based on that tech.
Instead of red, everything is green.
That's right. It's a very simple idea. Yeah. And so help me out, Matrix sequel fans. But the idea is that he's mistaken, because he's like, we don't even know what year it is. We think it's somewhere in the 21st century. Is that what he says? But actually, because they don't know that things have been cycled so many times, they're actually much later than that. It's actually like 2600 or something.
Yeah,
I think.
That's true. They could be. Yeah, because I think at the end of Revelations, I think that's the 7th reboot of the Matrix.
Okay.
So they're in the 6th version now.
Right. Even this shot looks cool.
Yes. Bunch of 50s microphones taking all those human beings.
I just love how they were like, what's the most alien thing from humans to make the machine seem uncomfortable? Oh, well, just make everything look like bugs. Like, everything's a bug.
It's intentional, just to scare the humans more.
Fed intravenously to the living. So everyone in the Matrix is also a cannibal.
Right. And then how do they procreate?
Oh, that's a question I just had as well. Like, wait a second, I never thought about this before. I suppose it's just like livestock or something.
It's just all like sperm banks, and I mean, he had that diaper on.
They have the best like VR porn imaginable, so it wouldn't be hard, I guess.
Don't show the label of the battery. This scene looks grainier than most. Like, do you think it just had to do so much work in the color just to make sure? It's in some ways the crappiest looking scene, and maybe it is just tough to balance that pure white backdrop or something to boost it. But
like I said, I would also be interested to see the original colorization of this, because that might have something to do with it too.
That could be.
Like different color grading ruins some of that.
I love it. Here's what I want. I want like the on-set direction of how they told people to react when they're pulling the thing out the back of their head, because it's always just like this, like you can feel it every time. Oh God. And then he pukes up a little porridge.
How do you clean up when it's gone down through the grates? Like, what's down there that's going to be funky forever?
God. It's just Cypher's bedroom down there. That's why he's so pissed.
That's why he turns. That's the last drop.
God, Neo, Morpheus, just leave him alone.
Well, this is the thing. And like the later movies, it's interesting because in this one, you only see Morpheus through the eyes of his crew and Neo. And in the later ones, you see him through the eyes of different people at Zion, different captains. And it starts to become clear that he's kind of a religious zealot to everyone else. And he kind of is. Like,
well, I mean, that's the interesting thing. And, the Blank Check guys talked about this too, of like, even in this movie, it has that flip where it's like the last third, little over a half or so, like when you know from the Oracle that Matrix is, or that Neo is not the one,
right?
Then you start to see Morpheus not as the coolest guy in the world, but like, oh, he's just an idiot. Like he just doesn't know what's happening.
Right.
And when somebody's trying to act this cool and you know that they're flawed, it really changes your perception of them.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
You tell me what I missed.
Okay.
In the meantime,
we'll bring you up to speed.
So this is gonna be all cussing now.
Yep. And you won't be here to mark the timestamps. So good luck.
This is it's very much like, oh yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact details here. So there was the original guy that freed everyone. Was that in the 6th version of the Matrix?
Yes.
That he's talking about?
Well, I think the thing that becomes clear in later movies is that they also wipe out Zion every time they reboot the Matrix.
And they just allow it to be rebuilt again.
Yeah, it's just like part of the design of the system is to allow some select people to rebel.
Give them hope.
Yeah, which keeps the majority of the population in line to be a battery. I also remember reading something about how humans would actually be incredibly inefficient batteries. But I just choose to gloss over that in my head. That's not my headcanon for the Matrix.
Yeah, as far as like, I guess nutrients, you would just get everyone else's body slushy.
Yeah. I mean, it would be easier to hook up a bunch of cows or something, right?
Yeah, they're bigger.
Why even mess with something that has a sense of self-actuality, or I don't know.
Yeah, does being like more sentient and aware, does that provide better battery?
Yeah,
juice?
I don't know. Like, oh, their brains are thinking more. It's a better battery.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, that's why the neural network thing would have been great.
Yeah, it's true. And who knows? Maybe they will retcon that in Matrix Resurrections.
Morpheus got it wrong.
That's right.
By the way, it was really this.
They've turned it on its ear a few times, over the course of the sequels and stuff. So that's not out of scope.
Yeah, totally. Good old Tank.
Yeah, I like Tank.
I don't know the real story, but it seemed like there was like YouTube videos of been like, oh yeah, something happened with this dude and they didn't invite him back for the other movies, or like he asked for more money or something.
It kind of seems like it seemed like he wanted more money, which understandable
because it made a lot.
Yep. And he was not given that money, and probably justifiably was not happy about that.
Yeah.
Talking Cypher?
We're talking about how Tank never comes back for the movies, but he's also not killed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a confusing one. And then they switched to Link, which, being of a game fan, it was always fun to be like, oh, there's a guy named Link in the Matrix now. This is cool.
Sure.
But small pleasures.
Oh, man, the downloading of just whatever you want to know.
Oh, God.
I know, right?
Unfortunately, that's all you see. It's just like these JPEGs of different moves. It's like, all right, I guess I know Taekwondo now.
Yeah. You just download strategy guides into your brain. Wouldn't have had to rent or check out from the library the Myst strategy guide so much as a kid.
Right.
Just
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
God, I mean, this is so much of the movie to me is... I know Kung Fu.
Oh my God.
Oh, this scene is so cool.
The first time you see them kind of like show the fighting and you're like,
yes.
Oh, I wonder what this will be like. I think they showed maybe a tiny bit of this in that Super Bowl trailer too, where I was like, "What the hell?
Yeah,
what is this movie?" Yeah,
I mean, we see Trinity be a total badass in the beginning, and then this is the one that just opens the doors. I don't know if you saw it. There was that behind-the-scenes clip that was making the round on Twitter recently of them training for this scene, just again and again and again and again.
Oh,
it's so much fun to watch.
Oh my God, yeah. You're like, wait, that's his face?
Do you think
that's those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always think there's a scene in, I'm sure, Ben, you know this, being the Jurassic Park fan you are, but that scene in the original where Lex falls through the grates and she looks up at her stunt double looks up.
Face. Yeah.
You
just like that?
I would.
Oh, they could have done that for this scene, you're saying?
When Brian was saying, yeah, oh, it's really them, I'm like, maybe their faces are replaced.
Right, yeah. Maybe some, yeah. Do you think martial arts masters were kind of annoyed by that idea of, like, you shouldn't be able to download everything? Like, there's more to it than just, like, understanding it. You got to live this. It's muscle memory. It's the whole thing. But maybe the machines or the computer program is teaching them the muscle memory as well.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just thought that was like, that's the coolest way to get up possible.
Yeah.
Never seen anyone get up like that.
Oh, my God.
so
He's
good.
flying in the sky.
So that's the other thing. It's like, this movie like predates like modern high-speed cameras. So I'm curious how they'll utilize those in the fourth one.
Yeah.
Like frame rate wise, or
Yeah, just it's like when you watch slow-mo stuff from the 90s and it's just obviously like just the same number of frames stretched out over a longer period of time.
Right.
Oh yeah. I always was like, what is that? What is that? Intimidation or something? Where he's doing like the weird shaky stuff as he scoots forward.
Yeah. Oh my God, running up the
Run
pillar.
up the pillar.
Amazing. Oh, this would be so exciting. When your day is just sitting on the Nebuchadnezzar, just eating slop, programming crap, like the idea that you get to watch these two face off after hearing Morpheus talk about Neo probably for decades at this point. This is the sequence then that was probably my favorite of the entire movie. Just like this line of dialogue. But like, you think that's air you're breathing now?
Yes.
Like, oh, that's so good. Like that layer of like, you think you've hit the limit, you have no idea what you're doing still.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. And this is so dorky. But I remember, look, this is a safe spot for dorks, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember smug. I love that.
Just take a swing at him. But I remember like being in gym class, like forced to run the mile or whatever around this and trying to like get into that mindset of like, you think that's air you're breathing now? Like trying to like channel this scene for like trying to push yourself to the next limit physically, which I've probably only done like 3 times in my life. But still, every time I do, I think of lessons from this film.
I was captain of the soccer team, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, here we go. Bragging about his glory days again. We get it. We get it. Oh,
God. All these lines, I'm just like, they're just in my head.
Yes.
Like, oh, yeah, that.
That's right. There was never a reason not to be watching The Matrix after it came out.
He's like a way cooler Yoda, actually. Like now that I'm rewatching this, I'm thinking about like the things that he's saying to Neo.
Yes. I mean, the Dagobah stuff is fun to watch, but it's more like emotionally fun to watch than it is physically. Like, I don't really care if he balances those rocks ultimately.
Yeah.
But like, if it's this. I'm just saying, I wanted more Attack of the Clones Yoda in Empires, but I'm really trying to get across.
Yeah. More flips.
Dropping down onto the rooftop. Oh, and the camera shoots up after that. So good.
You need to make a Matrix Battle Royale, and that's how you drop into every game.
Be very careful what you wish for. You know that people have had that discussion.
Warner Brothers has, like, in that vein, like, they have to have at least one huge game now, right? Just waiting in the wings.
Matrix?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think so, yeah. And I think that would be Monolith that would be the perfect studio for it. But the fact that I haven't heard a single whisper about it in the rumor mill online, like, I don't know. But then again, we didn't know about Wolverine. Like, there's plenty of projects that can still come out of the blue and surprise us. But I'm just amazed that Monolith is so locked down.
Yeah, I feel like Lana probably isn't going to be involved in the entire creation of it, but maybe.
Well, that's the weird thing, too, about Warner Brothers. Like, how much... Okay, he's going for the big leap. And, of course, he doesn't do it. Now, do you count this as a joke, Brian? Like the Looney Tunes springy ground. Yeah, is that a joke?
The Wile E. Coyote. That was the other joke I was thinking of.
All right. I mean, for a blockbuster, for that to be in the running for the top 3 jokes of the movie, that's really something.
Yeah, I mean, he was just such a badass in that dojo. And it's like, well, of course he'll make this and prove that he's the one. And just
that I like that Cypher referred to Trinity as Trin there. It's a nice little bit of familiarity.
Right.
It's like there's a history with these characters.
Right. Oh, that's right. So smart to establish that he bleeds.
Your brain makes it real. Yeah.
You'll die in real life. It's so good.
You want to talk about like dorky kid stuff? Remember those
please.
like vests that you could get? Like there were like, I don't know, Genesis era. You could get a vest. I remember the magazine ads, and they would be like, "Feel the game."
Yep.
And I was like, as a kid, I was like, "Well, what happens in a Mortal Kombat fatality?
Oh,
Do you die
smart.
in real life?"
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that really.
You're like, I'm not getting that thing.
yeah,
Too
no,
scary.
hell no, yeah. I want to live.
But you know that those discussions in Warner Brothers probably happened about them desperately wanting a new Matrix movie. I mean, probably a year after Revolutions, realistically. Like, let's fire this back up. We can still bring this for something.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, legally, they can do it without the Wachowskis, right? It's just that somebody in the corporation is trying to be the good person and be like, well, we shouldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
I feel like if it would just be such an uphill battle with fans. It's like, wait, there's no Wachowskis on this at all?
Right. It would be, oh, God, no one could do it. And I feel like the first rumor of The Matrix 4, wasn't it connected with, like, oh, there was some writer that was going to do it, and everyone was like, forget this. Do you remember this?
I remember, I think Michael B. Jordan was attached to produce it.
Ooh,
really?
Okay.
And, yeah, and there were, like, rumors that it was going to be a prequel where he played young Morpheus.
Oh.
Right. Yes.
But that was a while back. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the red dress lady.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, we're looking at the one where just kind of.
I was just
a little jokey,
but that was good.
We missed it. I mean, that was the breakout song for me on the soundtrack. Was that Club to Death song?
Right. Yep.
So good.
Soundtrack.
Yeah.
So good.
It was okay. John Landis' son. What's that dweeb's name?
It's not
dweeb.
Martin?
Max Landis?
Max?
Was he the one associated with it?
Well, it's weird because like the Animatrix is all non-Wachowski stuff. Like it's like other people, and there's some cool stuff in the Animatrix.
They contributed to writing at least some of them.
Did they?
I thought
maybe
so.
There was a big like CG one in the same
Flight
way
of the Osiris.
Yeah, the same way that they were doing. It looks like CG Final Fantasy stuff from that era,
right?
With, like the spirits within.
We're not holding all the keys. We learned that in Reloaded. Keys are a very important aspect.
That's true. The key maker. Keymaster is Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Yep.
Don't get confused.
Oh yeah, the keymaker was in Enter the Matrix as well.
Oh really?
FYI.
I imagine it's just an elaborate sequence. You had to run him around and chase after him through a crazy maze.
It's probably not that creative.
Oh, okay.
As someone that enjoys the Matrix sequels, you're selling me on Enter the Matrix a little bit.
Okay.
I might need to go back and check it out.
Yeah.
I believe now that I went and looked back at a couple things today, and you can hack. There's like a DOS hacking thing, and you might be able to do some cheats. Which at this point, if you just want to experience it, don't be too proud to cheat.
I mean, hacking Enter the Matrix seems like the right way to play, right?
Yeah, it's like downloading drunken boxing.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
just right to your brain.
I know Enter the Matrix,
and it's also 2 characters, so you have to play as Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh, Niobe
and Ghost.
Okay,
and they have slightly different stories, so you have to play through both of those.
So it's like Last of Us Part 2, is what you're saying.
Oh, well, I'm embarrassingly, I still have to play that.
Oh!
I do own it now, at least.
Oh, my God, Brian. Get on it.
I know. It's sad.
So, Shiny Entertainment was the developer of Enter the Matrix.
Oh.
Yep.
MDK fame.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Who did Path of Neo, then?
That's also Shiny.
Really?
They took the feedback of, like, why the hell are we playing as Neo?
Right.
And that's, like, the game. It's like, fine, you can just play as Neo in all of the cool parts from the movies. It came out way after the movies were over. But yeah, Enter the Matrix is very much part of the plot, and it's essentially stole some story that was supposed to be in part 2 they're all whispering, so now I feel like I'm being loud.
Yeah. You're going to give away their spot, you please.
The only weapon we have against them.
You got to blast the EMP. Oh, Morpheus puts on his little nightcap.
I think this was probably my first introduction to the concept of an EMP as well.
Absolutely.
Same.
Which would go on to be very big in like modern warfare games and like a lot of other media.
I love the detail of I don't usually watch with captions on.
Yeah.
They put lowercase when it's a whisper.
Oh.
And uppercase when it's full volume.
Oh, the gross
Is
machines.
that just everyone knows that?
I don't know. I guess not really paying attention. I'm not a big caption guy. I like they have their little radar dish.
Yeah. That all my neighbors had in their yards in Kentucky when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know, when everyone had those big radar dishes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
To get cable.
Before the tiny dishes.
That's right.
This movie, I mean, it's the classic thing you could say about Star Wars 1,000 times or whatever, but like, by all means, this movie should not work. It is so dorky and lore heavy. I feel like everybody watching this should have just been horrified by what a dorky disaster it was. But somehow, with a dorky film like this, it just pulls off that cool level at such an extent that no one could question it.
Well, yeah, I wonder how much of that is, you're talking about like how relatively humorless it is.
Right.
And it's like they take themselves seriously, like they take the material seriously, and they're not undercutting it with jokes.
Do you think the Wachowskis are frustrated by their careers?
Blonde, brunette, redhead.
There we go.
I don't know.
Sure.
I have that impression. Maybe it's just...
I mean, I look at the range of work that they've made. I mean, maybe they would want to make more of it.
Yeah.
But like Speed Racer is incredible. I love Speed Racer.
It's unique, yeah.
That
They
was
seem
like
to get a good budget for that.
Yeah, like
Right.
that was one of the most fun theater experiences I've had because I didn't know
my
anything about it.
God.
I just went in knowing that I loved the Matrix movies.
Right,
And I would watch another Wachowski flick. So
It's his first drink, really.
that's true.
By the way, you guys had the Matrix code as your screensaver in the computer, right?
Oh, I don't. I thought computers were just
Brian.
pre-installed with
Yeah.
that.
My computer still has the Matrix.
Yeah!
Oh, you win.
Still good. Yeah, I would love the history just of that. Like, what are those symbols technically? Is it all just made up by some graphic designer on the production crew? Where did it come from?
They call it digital rain, I think, was the the official marketing lingo for it.
Yeah.
Which, hey, when he met Morpheus that first night, it was raining digitally in the Matrix.
Hey.
And all comes back.
Mr. Thematic, you got it.
Oh.
You got it all.
This dude was he Memento as well?
Oh, yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Sounds right.
And then Carrie-Anne Moss was in Memento.
She was? I don't know.
Was she?
Are you thinking
The
of
main
Mass
gal?
Effect 2?
Was she in Mass Effect 2?
She's Mass Effect
Yeah.
Oh, who is she?
She is in the bar. She runs like the dance club in Mass Effect 2 on
okay.
Omega.
2? Mm.
Remember? She's the Asari lady there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I forget her name. Sorry, everybody who definitely knows her name.
So here's the thing I still don't understand. Maybe you guys have some insight into this. He is secretly going into the Matrix to meet with the agents.
right.
How does he jack himself into the Matrix? Does he stab the back of his head while in the chair?
I guess so. Maybe
Everybody
he
else has to be put in and out, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
balances the needle on the chair, puts a couple books on it, then slowly tries to
leans
back
back.
into it. Yeah, I think. I have no idea.
What a goatee. Boy.
It's very good. The machines, they have to be so smug and stiff for the programs. They couldn't make the agents more able to blend in. They have to just be that out of line.
Well, yeah.
Like an actor. Meta reference.
Yeah. Well, that's what now everyone is theories abound about. Maybe Neo is an actor in Matrix Resurrections based on this reference.
Really?
This is a theory in the Matrix community.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're thriving.
Yes. It's an exciting time to be in the Matrix community.
So what would that mean? So how does that connect then
slop.
to...
Yeah.
God. How does that connect to then, like the idea of him seeing the old man in the mirror?
That might be what he actually looks like.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But then I don't understand why he wakes up in the real world in the Matrix Resurrections trailer and he doesn't look like that.
So many delicious questions.
It doesn't make sense. I'm trying to think these Matrix sequels don't make a lot of sense.
So is Mouse the dorky stand-in for like all the audience? Because he's the one that's unabashedly like, yeah, he's kicking ass. Oh, so cool.
Right. The internet's for porn. Yeah.
I think about this line all the time about not knowing what things taste like, and the machine just made everything taste like chicken. It's so good. It's so good.
It just made you think of so much all the time.
Yeah.
When you're a teenager.
Yeah, this movie is like major brain worms. Like, it's just...
I mean, it is, again, a lot of it comes down to the age where we watched it, but
yes,
the most thought-provoking movie of our lives? Yes?
Quite possibly.
Maybe not when I first watched it. Because,
Okay.
I mean, I feel like when I first watched it, I loved it because it had cool guns and sunglasses.
Right.
And then it isn't later until you think about, like, the actual implications of the subject matter and everything. And so it's like Last Action Hero is another one of those where you watch it as a kid and you're like, Arnold movie, cool.
Right,
and then you watch it later and it's like Arnold deconstructing Arnold movies, which is wild.
It's amazing.
I love that movie so much.
I watched it for the first time within the last 7 years. And I was just blown away by it. Yeah.
I got to watch that again.
So Mouse loves to use the Matrix for pervy things. And I'm not trying to get graphic, but like, you bleed in the real world if you get punched. Like, it seems like it's a right?
Well, I mean, we
right
addressed this earlier.
Room too.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's why they have great floors, huh?
Yeah, you can't let anything collect. It just seems like a mess.
All right, well, this has been fun.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you later. Okay, this is another good music drop. Here we go.
But I would have to say it kind of related to how they get the batteries to reproduce.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
To have the in matrix porn to have a real world result, and then they collect that sample and put it to somebody else.
Interesting. I like this theory.
Sure.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought this pervy conversation back to actual
it's not
Matrix
pervy,
lore.
it's analytical.
Okay,
There's a difference.
We're
not into the sexualization
This
of it.
is deep lore.
Yeah.
Deep lore.
You'd understand if you played into the Matrix.
Hey, Morpheus's tie looked like the Matrix code. Does that pass as a joke? I don't know. It's a visual joke, visual gag.
That tie someone has had to have made that in the last 20 years, right?
Big time.
Oh, I'm actually wearing that.
He did wear it to the wedding.
Yeah.
He was screaming about his tie so loud he lost his voice.
Yep.
This movie shouldn't be so good to see again after you know everything, but even them explaining it is just part of the journey and really cool still.
Yeah.
Really good noodles. So I think he goes into that noodle shop in the Resurrections trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Such a smart detail.
Now, in real life, did I read this was shot in Canada?
No, it's Australia.
Australia.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So like a lot of these actors and stuff, that's why they are out of nowhere for us. They're just Australian professionals. Yes. Like, who is Switch? What did she do after this? I don't know.
Isn't Hugo, is he Australian?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's like when you watch a British movie and you see every British actor you've ever seen in your life in one movie, and it's like the Avengers of British acting.
Yes, exactly. He's an English actor. He has resided in Australia for the entirety of something. His life? Oh. Entirety of his professional career. Okay. There we go. I had to pull him out there. Did you like the idea of him returning in 2 and 3, even though it didn't really make sense?
See that KYM? That is the costume designer for the movie.
Oh,
wow. And she's also the costume designer for Shang-Chi.
Wow.
Oh,
okay. And Bill Pope is the cinematographer for both movies as well.
Right.
Look at this, Brian. Look at that. You got your fonts. He's got the KYM.
I watched the Matrix Revisited, baby.
You're locked in. That's amazing. Did you see Shang-Chi?
I've not. Okay. I've not. No. with an 8-month-old at home. I don't get to see many movies anymore.
That's the conundrum.
Do you appreciate the streaming at home trend of late?
Yes, very much. Yeah. Even though this will come out on HBO, the Resurrections will come out on HBO, but I will absolutely.
It's okay. You can get emotional.
Absolutely go see that in theaters. I can't see a Matrix movie in theaters.
Now it's got some IMAX stuff to it, right?
Oh, does it?
I thought I heard that they shot.
Sounds about right.
I believe it. Yeah.
Next time your voice starts to fall apart, could you just lean into it and pretend that you're trying to do an Oracle impression? Say like, not too bright though. Something like that.
This next scene is going to be very confusing because no one's going to know who's talking.
Right. Try and figure it out at home. It's our little game. This scene. So
this is something that the sequels lean into very heavily, which is like so many of these characters being programs,
right?
Like just personified programs within the Matrix, which I love. I think it's a super cool idea.
It is fun just to have like different types of people in here. It's like, okay, you have obviously the machines and then the programs, different eras of programs, and the whole idea of this is the part that blows my mind. If Warner Brothers, bending those spoons, that shot of the reflection in the spoon, so good. But if Warner Brothers was at all aggressive about marketing the Matrix, the part that I don't understand is how they have not made like a horror movie or some way to capitalize on that previous version of the Matrix that's all about like the werewolves and vampires and zombies, whatever the hell is going on that they established and Reloaded. Like that seems perfect. Like here's that previous incarnation of the Matrix where it's nothing but cash cow monsters. It seems right there. Canonically, wouldn't mess anything up. Like they already established that it existed. Just like here's a fun, wacky version of the Matrix. It'd be a great animated movie. Like, you could do so much with that.
Well, they covered some of that ground in Enter the Matrix, where you get to fight vampires.
Really? Did they actually have like a sequence all about like werewolves and the whole thing?
Oh yeah, they're a huge pain in the ass.
Oh wow!
Like agents are especially bad to fight, but yeah, vampires and stuff are also quite tricky using that battle system.
I wonder if they would ever make a new. I remember at the time it was like a cool underground thing, but now I feel like the Animatrix has kind of built up to this level of being revered.
Yeah.
Maybe even, probably enjoyed overall for people who watched it more than 2 and 3. I wonder if they'd ever go back and make like an Animatrix Volume 2 or something.
I mean, they're making that animated
Star Wars
anthology.
Visions.
Yeah, Star Wars.
That's
coming
right.
out.
Seems very
I don't know
Animatrix.
when you're listening to this, listener, but it's coming out 2 days from.
Oh really?
Oh really? Oh my God! All right.
All of them are just getting shot out at the same time.
Oh, I love this. Just like the stripped down, humble Oracle, who just has the best voice in the world, other than yours, Alex.
Yeah. Second to mine, but that's okay. Okay.
It was sad though to learn that she had kind of passed away during the filming of the sequels.
Yeah.
She's so good.
Like again, this is that other level of he's had his mind blown progressively, and now it's like here's the final mind F for Neo, which the fact that it's still relevant and confusing throughout the sequels about like, the Oracle is the most important character, one of the most important characters in this entire universe. It's not just a fun throwaway scene.
Right.
Because it's what, like, she's the mother of the Matrix, and then the architect is the father of the Matrix. That's the way they saw it.
That's the way they phrase it.
But she's also just a program who's a little bit outside of the Matrix and wants to kind of mess with it.
Like, I think, like in the sequels, the Merovingian is basically an old Matrix operating system who is, like, managed to stick around within the newer system.
Right.
And, like, the keymaker dude is basically just that extension in Chrome that remembers all of your passwords.
Sorry, I forgot about that line. Sorry, keep going.
No. The keymaster is basically the password rememberer of Chrome.
Right, right.
That's his analog.
And that's, of course, the problem with Reloaded. Some fun action sequences.
There's no problem.
I'm sorry. I don't mean problem. I'm just mean interesting thing about Reloaded is it's a much better movie to talk about than it is to watch. It's like one of those things where like, no, you shouldn't understand it. See? He's like the password protector, keeper for crumbs. That's a very fun idea. I just wish it came through in the movie a little bit better.
Yeah.
Do you need another?
Oh, liquid? I would love another, please.
Which one looks good to you?
Your pick.
For the folks at home, Brian is pointing to the DVD shelf of Matrix sequels, and Alex had to pick the one that he wanted.
Yeah,
I think.
He needed another DVD to sit on to make himself a little bit taller.
So what would happen? What would happen if Neo just believed in himself here and said, "I actually am the one"? Would she just have had to go along with it, or it's all moot because she knows exactly what he's going to do anyway?
Well, I think this kind of introduces the idea of choice in the movie, where Neo is not the one until he chooses to be the one.
So technically, she's not lying here.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Oh, like the cigarettes, I'm not a smoker. I've never smoked in my life or anything, but she makes cigarettes seem so cool. And I know it's like destroyed her voice and ultimately maybe what killed her, but still, it's such a key component of this scene.
There's a real confidence to good smokers that's, infectious.
You really, it had already kind of been tapering off somewhat in movies at this point, but in TVs and movies, you really don't see it used at all unless it's very much for a purpose, like Mad Men or something.
Right. Oh.
And every movie has that thing. If it does have smoking, it's listed in the MPAA rating and text, and also at the credits at the end. It's like, we were not compensated for our use of tobacco in this movie.
Oh, interesting.
Because the companies used to pay all the time for I just love a cool Marlboro. This is so good.
I was listening to this podcast interview. It's like Recode Media. And I want one of those cookies. God, I wish I was smart enough to have. They really look good. And it's not even chocolate chip, but somehow they make them look perfect.
Why didn't you make us cookies for
I
this?
really wish I thought of that. God, that would have been good.
Did they explain what kind of cookies you made? Was it?
They look kind of like oatmeal.
Oatmeal-y?
Yeah.
And there has to be an entry on the Matrix Wikipedia somewhere.
There's a quest line in Matrix Online, I think, to go get the ingredients for her cookies.
You got to collect 10 raisins.
I forgot you get to see Morpheus put on the sunglasses there. You get to see that it's actually doable. It's just like a little quick clip. There's nothing fancy going on here.
The woman in red, that's his favorite creation.
Just cool guy stuff. Just looking at a big picture of a lady. Oh, boy. Oh, God. I remember with hang on, I have a lot of different trains of thought, but I remember when Reloaded came out, they had the two soundtracks that was so exciting. Where it's okay, here's the licensed soundtrack, and then here's the orchestral score, and just listening to those back and forth before the movie came out. Oh, Cypher, terrible actor. That's why he could never pass it off.
That's why he wanted to be an actor.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the thing, is the machines always have this trump card in their pocket of everyone that's there's always going to be someone in the group that's I wish I didn't know about the Matrix.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll press that button.
Really love to just be the most richest and famous person on Earth. So they always just have that at their disposal at any time.
It's a fun idea for that shot. They just had to film it with two cameras, right?
Yeah.
And just slightly different perspective on that cat doing the exact same thing.
I also love that they're what phenomena do we want to explain within the confines of the Matrix? Deja vu.
Yes.
Obviously, we have to incorporate that into the movie.
Right. Everything that's kind of heady and weird, we need to squeeze into this film just to freak people out.
Every time you experience a deja vu, do you not think of the Matrix? It broke my brain in that way.
And honestly,
really
if we're all being completely honest here, every time you experience deja vu, don't you still think, even though you know the explanation of it, you still think, yeah, but something's up. Something's... I think I'm special in some way here. Oh, God.
Uh-oh.
Mouse looks like he's 16.
To this day, Glitch in the Matrix, though, is used to explain, pretty much anything weird. Right?
Yes, exactly.
This has got to be his, the best day of filming in his entire life, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he gets to do two death scenes. He gets to do in the chair death scene and actually firing the guns death scene. That's good acting.
That's got to be a gift too. Tank's reaction, like sad reaction.
Oh yeah. But
I also think that from this point on, this movie is just all gas. Like,
yeah,
I don't think it slows down for the rest of it.
All right, Cypher. Still, you should question him. I know everyone's in a rush, but his tone there. I love actors having to act in movies that they're bad actors.
Yes.
It's very fun.
It's my favorite.
God, it could be one of the most challenging things.
You really have to understand like what makes good and bad acting. So like, yeah, I like making things that look like bad, like they were poorly designed, because it's the same thing. Like when you know how to make it look good,
right?
It's really fun to figure out how exactly to make it look bad,
and I
without trying to make it look like
you're
making it look bad.
And I bet some
like
clients
in Destiny, there's like an idiot alien race or something that is bad at design.
Yeah, that's what I have control over.
And I bet in the freelance world, I bet some clients, they would just take it if you knew it was like intentionally bad design. Yeah. I bet you'd be horrified by how many people would be like, okay, we can live with this. Sure.
I mean, a good example, we did a splash page for the Bungie store for the 30th anniversary, and it looks like a web page made in the 90s.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
So it looks kind of bad, but also very endearing.
Right, right.
So,
it's instant nostalgia hit. That's always good.
Yeah. And what is the secret to good graphic design versus bad design, Alex? You have an hour.
Oh, God. I'll have to get back to you on this.
What is it? It's simplicity?
I think it's focus and not trying to put too many things into any one piece. Generally, like, because design... this is one of my favorite shots in this movie.
Crawling
it's
down.
Incredible.
They really built a huge, tall set for that, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Much like they built a mile-long strip of road, a freeway, for Matrix Reloaded.
Just to go in that circle.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Do you think that comp was intentional from Cypher? Or I guess he doesn't want to get shot either, so probably not,
That's true.
Yeah, he's got to get out of this mission alive.
Yeah.
To become a great actor.
Get out of this quest. Oh, you fool. And these guys are just rent-a-cops? Who are these guys? Just SWAT teams?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Just that, like, claustrophobic shooting a gun. Like, that would be so weird.
A little bit, yeah. The fingers couldn't go where the fingers were. They got to go a little bit above. Oh, God.
Before I forget.
Yeah.
Is there?
Oh, I love that Morpheus where he's like charging up. Yeah. It's so good before he busts through. Oh,
it's nice that the agent allowed him to deliver his message. He's like just hanging out.
Right.
All right, whatever you got to get out there.
This, or they go down the walls,
but like slow themselves enough just by putting their feet on the little thingies.
Yeah.
Is there any like behind the scenes on why Swift wears the white and everyone else is in the?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to know.
Yeah.
I hope they do more of in the Billith Resurrections. They have some big, I don't know, pieces on the making of the original movie, and I hope like both sisters talk about it. I think that'd be nice just to get a whole blast.
Yeah, because they famously are pretty off the radar, and they did not do any commentary on the movies, right?
Really?
Mm.
You go through the commentary, and it's like maybe like a producer and some like I think Carrie Ann Moss is on there, and
you know what is horrifying?
Some special effects guy or something.
I cannot understand that. We're doing a commentary track for the love of God. We don't know what we're talking about. But like it still blows my mind. Spielberg, as far as I can tell, has never done a commentary track for any of his movies.
Oh my God. That'd be the best.
I know. Can you imagine just like the amount that he has to share? But it's like, he's busy.
Ugh. The way he gets up is wrong.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And I remember always being bummed out because, like, man, we saw you do so much cool stuff in that dojo. Just try and channel a little bit of that right now. I know it's tough, but
that was cool.
All right, he did the sidekick. Look, I shouldn't attack Morpheus too much, but he's not listening to his own advice, I feel like.
This is the traditional, like, wrestling or Batman thing where you have to show how strong the villain is by having him kick someone you respect's ass.
Yeah, right. It's perfect. Wrestling or Batman.
Yeah.
The pillars of fiction. Yeah, I get it.
Comics and wrestling are not all that different.
Sports entertainment, please.
Yeah.
No.
The biggest difference is in comics, Superman can be the same age forever, whereas wrestling, some people eventually age out of the business and have to be replaced.
That is true.
It's true.
That's really the only difference.
I guess that's true. It's so weird to think about. I know this isn't a cool hip thing, but I saw Star Wars before the re-release in 97 is when they started doing that. Is that right? But it wasn't until seeing them in theaters that I really loved Star Wars. And it really hit me in a big way. And so the idea of seeing Star Wars and appreciating the Force, really absorbing the Force, feeling it's kind of like a religious thing. I love this so much and capable of so much more. And then within a 2-year span, this movie also expanding your horizons. That's just such a good 1-2 punch for there are limits. The limits of your mind are artificial.
Yeah.
When, I understand it's a fiction thing, but I think it's important for a kid to realize that this reality is not all that is important here. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
like
you.
it.
What I'm saying is that the Force and the Matrix are kind of cool things,
Yeah, I think there's some definite parallels. When I first got into Star Wars, it was a tape off of somebody's tape from HBO of Empire Strikes Back, and I just watched that a million times.
That's perfect. Just Empire?
Yeah. I think I had seen the other two here and there along the way.
Oh,
that dickhead. But definitely saw Empire Strikes Back over and over and over again. The most depressing one, but it's still the coolest.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, his face looks so sad. Oh. And the good ray gun. So that's just in case the Sentinels get in the ship. They got that gun there. They had to shoot some down in the past, probably.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. Defend yourself.
Jumpstart a battery, maybe.
Never know. All right, Cypher. Enough with the sniffing people when they're in the Matrix. We don't need to do this.
We already know you're bad.
Yeah, that's right. They had some weird history.
Why don't gaming headsets look like this now? Feels like a real missed opportunity.
I think people would be very, very into that.
Yeah.
It'd be incredibly uncomfortable, but
worth it.
Yeah. Oh, no. This guy. I get the idea of wanting to get out, but there's no way out. You have to give in Morpheus and give up the entire thing, kill all your friends.
That's the deal. That's what the machines want.
Well, it's one of the things that I really appreciate in that earlier scene with Cypher.
I would love to see the outtakes of that jump where he has the brain completely still as he straddles him.
In that earlier scene with him and Agent Smith where Agent Smith's like, we want the codes, and he's like, I told you I can't give them to you. And just the exasperation of dealing with a computer that's just always asking for the same thing, and you're just like, you stupid robot.
Yeah.
It's like the way you talk to an Alexa.
Yes. Or like a printer that doesn't work.
Yes.
Right. That's perfect. And what is the actor's name? It's Joey.
It's not Joe Pantoliano,
isn't it?
Cypher is
Joe. Yeah, Joe Pantoliano. Of course. Yeah, let's see what he's up to these days. Do you think
Come on. That's not cool.
Yeah, don't
not
cool. Watch him die.
Look him in the eye.
There's bad and then there's really bad.
This is like a much more violent version of what happened whenever my mom unplugged the internet while I was playing Diablo 2 and just character dies.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's brutal. I like the little monitor screen where you see a little bit of switch in there.
Not like this.
There it is, everybody. What a weird thing to catch on from this movie.
Yeah, right.
Yuck. But I do feel like that's another reason this movie hits so big, and especially at our age group, is just that connection of feeling like we were the hackers in our families. I'd have to imagine, right? better than anybody else in our households. Like, we understood computers. We were the cool people. We were the ones downloading songs. We were just like Neo in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, downloading crappy 30-second loops of songs on LimeWire and
right.
Napster.
Yeah, you had to do it. Is a video like, okay, it's going to take days, but I need this Dragon Ball FMV.
That's right.
I need to live. I need to feel alive, man.
Big, pretty eyes. What if he said, not like this? Like everyone who did it.
Do you think they'll make a reference to Not Like This in Resurrections? Because it's one of those things that is kind of forgettable in this first movie, but then the internet has really blown it up. And now it's like, oh, that's like one of the most memorable lines from The Matrix somehow because of memes.
I don't think their references are that on the nose.
Yeah,
because that's like a Back to the Future level callback.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. I thought it was weird in the end of that Matrix Resurrections trailer when, like, it is weird, right? He ends it and he's like, "We're going back to the Matrix." It's like this weird line. Like, yeah, we know we're watching a Matrix. I don't know what this is. Unless that's him referencing the film, and then that's where the meta weird shit comes in.
Maybe. And then the
Episode
rest of the
9,
movie
it was like,
commentary.
we're going back to the Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, this sequence is
I'm
so
already
good.
excited to see that helicopter hit that building.
Yeah, right.
that weird ripple move. It's so good. Mulfa.
So, I know the new like Matrix 4, they filmed a lot in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Because I remember it being all over the news there when I was there. Wasn't some of the highway stuff also, or there was some stuff in Oakland or something in part 2 or something?
I don't know.
Or maybe it was more LA or something. I don't know. Should have looked that up. But I know part 4 is very much San Francisco.
So what exactly do you like about those sequels there, Alex?
Oh, I really like all of those like concepts about the different programs.
It's the lore and stuff more than the minute-to-minute watching.
Well, I like the minute-to-minute watching.
Okay.
I think the second one has like one of the best car chases of any movie.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And I appreciate them kind of expanding the lore and like seeing Zion, and even if you don't care about the like political side of Zion, it fleshes that out if you do care. And yeah, I don't know. I just think there's like a level of sincerity to them that makes them really endearing.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't a...
I like by the third movie with like when Smith becomes a virus, when Neo goes in at the end to fight him, the whole Matrix is just Smith, and it's incredible.
It's really
he's
bizarre.
Just like, no one else is alive in here. I am the Matrix now. It is wild.
I don't know if I've seen Revolution since the theater.
Yeah,
just the one and done. We talked to some people at the wedding as well, like Ben Reeves.
Yeah.
They're all just like, I just saw it once in the theater, and just after watching this one dozens of times at home, and it's crazy to think that the last one was just like, meh, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I will watch it again before number 4.
Yeah.
You know
think
what's
this is the right time
so
to do it.
weird is the back-to-back shooting we've established in a few different properties now.
Yes.
Right.
The most shocking thing one about 2 and 3, 6 months apart.
Yeah.
I
Isn't that
assumed it was
wild?
like a year, but I went back and looked it up, and it's just like they were both in 2003.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It made it cool. I remember the Newsweek cover, I think, was called The Year of the Matrix or something. But yeah, I mean, it's like you think that they would want to just pick a slot and be like, okay, Labor Day is going to be Matrix Day, and let's go back-to-back years, which Star Wars is obviously trying to hit for so long, and Lord of the Rings. Like, I mean, yeah, Harry Potter, everybody was just so key on, like, we will hit this time frame and declare that as our weekend. But I don't know the benefit of trying to squeeze it all in like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you save the budget because you don't have to call actors back for second shoots.
Well, sure, but releasing it, like even like if you want to be a gross businessman, which I know we all do, like just think about like the toy lines. Like give those toys room to breathe, give the DVDs time to sell. It feels like you'd be undercutting yourself by rushing them and squeezing them together like that.
Well, even part of the Year of the Matrix, not only those 2 huge pillar movies, you've got Enter the Matrix, as we've discussed, on the same day as part 2. And then Animatrix was like a month after those two.
Is that right?
Movies.
Okay.
So it was really just like one thing after another. Like, as a Matrix fan, it was almost too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then you started to absorb it, and you said, this is definitely too much.
Well,
yeah.
It's interesting because I think, like, Jurassic Park kind of revolutionized Hollywood and, like, the way that they approach the blockbuster, the concept of the blockbuster. And I feel like...
The what?
The blockbuster. And in a similar way, like, this happened alongside, in tandem with Lord of the Rings. And after these two franchises, everything was a fucking trilogy.
Right.
Sorry if I cut.
What's wrong with you?
But it's frustrating because everything became a trilogy, whether it needed to be or not.
Right.
And like this and Lord of the Rings seem like the blueprint for that, like, approach that we kind of still see today, where everything is a series in Hollywood. And everything is a franchise and treated as a franchise, and that it crosses different media. And I feel like this series was the first time where that was like really a thing, where they were trying to do like
stuff.
Yeah, they called it transmedia at the time, I think. But this was like my first memory of that happening.
I guess in a big way, for
there was definitely
narrative
that time.
Importance to the stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of times licensed games were just rehashes of the movie, where at least the parts that the Wachowskis were involved in, like, they made a cool story and they filmed cool stuff, and they were involved in the Path of the Neo story as well. But the parts that they couldn't control, which is like gameplay and game design, that's where it kind of fell off.
Right.
So they did their part, but like certainly the 80s and 90s, every movie, no matter how weird and stupid, had a game tied to it.
Oh yeah,
across many platforms.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm trying to remember, what was the name of that MMO shooter? I don't remember what the hell it was that had the sci-fi show with it. I wanted to call it Defiant.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's something like that, where they really tried to unify that. That was like a big swing out of nowhere, but these are going to be the same thing. You watch the show, then you go play the game, and they feed each other.
Such a huge success that we can all remember it
oh
immediately.
My God, it's killing me that I don't remember the name of that thing, because it's really tough to Google. Like, sci-fi show and video game.
Failed combo.
Defiance! There it is.
There you go.
All right, not so hard at all. I bet somebody really got a kick out of it going through that at the same time.
I also think about this monologue a lot, where he talks about humanity being a virus, not mammals.
Right.
And it's like, as climate change becomes more and more real, and the Earth is trying to purge us, a virus becomes more and more believable every day.
Right.
But this is also where it, like, tease up the sequels, where Agent Smith really, like, makes it clear that he wants out.
Right.
Like, he does.
He is not unified
Up
here.
until this point, he is just the face of the system. And in this scene, he turns to be something else.
Right. Which is unnecessary for the first movie to, like, make him be different. He could just be the face of the machines here and have effectively the same level of antagonism here.
But it makes it's interesting because it, like, introduces this idea that even, like, lots of guns.
This is cool as hell.
Even the typing on that keyboard's cool.
But even on the side of the machines, which are kind of portrayed as a monolith at this point, there is dissent, which is an interesting concept. That kind of seems almost like a human concept.
Right. So it's almost like computers and programs made by people have some innate qualities from those people.
Now you're cooking.
There we go. We're not really baking the noodle. What did the Oracle say?
He takes the earpiece out.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything. I know this word is woefully overused, but everything's so visceral in this movie. And maybe it is just a matter of watching it when you're young or something, but even just like the way he's touching Morpheus's face coming up here in a bit, it's just like everything just sticks with me in such a weird way. Ugh.
What do you think the movie is for maybe younger people? What was their Matrix that they just know front to back?
In general, younger people?
General younger people.
Probably that new Paw Patrol movie.
Yeah. I hate this place.
Didn't really see Chase turning in that way. Chase was not on the case.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, I mean, from the last 8 years, maybe, or what's your time frame? Do you think?
I mean, Inception comes to mind.
Oh, that's
just
good. Yeah. That's good. That's probably up there. I'm sure. Yeah, a lot of Nolan stuff is going to be probably in the same wheelhouse.
I can imagine being 13 and seeing Inception and being like, "Oh my god!"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that's that
sniffing thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many days on set Lawrence Fishburne had to just be like gross and then constantly spritzed before every take?
Yes, right. Yeah. He's so sick of looking at the top of his eyelids, but it's just shot after shot.
But yeah, like Smith's motivation to destroying Zion is just to get out. Like, it's not to subjugate humans.
Right.
It's like totally selfish for him.
And this is a deep cut,
which is cool.
Can you remind me? Okay, obviously this is
my God
the craziest sequence, the lobby sequence here. The music is.
I love this guard's reaction when he sees all of the guns. I think that this is an upcoming scene is a funny moment to me.
Yep, that's good comedy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess that counts. Let's see. Even that camera movement. I feel like, okay. All right. Let's do it.
Holy shit.
And speaking of transmedia, I mean, we had the big moment in Conker's Bad Fur Day. I feel like it really tied into this. Remember, they recreated this whole sequence in that game, which came out like 6 months after this movie or something, and they still had time to completely do a full parody of it.
That's pretty impressive.
Just throwing the guns away.
Yeah.
My God.
Don't need them. I mean, how could these two not fall in love after doing something as crazy and cool as this? And now help me out.
Do you think they ever look back and be like, remember that time in that lobby that we just whooped everyone's ass?
I would hope that in their free time when we don't see them, they're doing so much other fun stuff in the Matrix that this barely registers. You know, it's just every day is just an adventure.
When they go to Morpheus's wedding, do they talk about it's like when you guys were talking about like the bridge prank you did?
Sure, yeah.
Like, do they like remember the lobby? I did the run up the wall.
Do you think? Do they go to the Matrix to have fun? Like, you think it would be better to keep people in the Matrix? They'd probably use up less air, maybe a little bit less food somehow, burn fewer calories.
I think they maybe do the side boot land for fun.
Yeah.
But in the Matrix, there's a
many
lot of risk in
dangers.
there.
Okay.
Because anytime the agents could show up.
Right.
That's true. Well, they should just be in the side world all the time. Just recreate some amusement park and just hang out there all day instead of like in your crappy chair on the Nebuchadnezzar.
Sure. Exactly. I think I read some kind of Easter egg that Trinity did the wall run one take.
Extremely cool.
Shotgun move.
Extremely cool.
But she did that flip in one take.
Really?
Oh, wow.
And it would take like hours to redo these pillars.
And
they just nailed it the first try.
And I remember there was some behind the scenes thing where they were talking about the pillars and the fact that's all like foam, but somehow it just looks perfect and it looks exactly like rocks, but it's really just like this elaborate foam.
By the way, soundtrack moment here.
Yes,
there we go.
big
There we
time.
go. Just got to do the flip.
Just throw away the guns. I love it.
I mean, how many times has this scene been parodied? It's got to be
probably lots.
Movies that parody the Matrix. Oh, the double kick.
Yes. Cool landing.
Yeah.
The
boot slide, very good.
Oh, I would argue this is a joke here. I do think this, like getting in the elevator and then like cutting to the shot of the room and it continues to crumble a little bit.
Yeah,
that's a gag.
This is
good.
You're right, gags. It's probably the better way to put it.
Yeah.
What
were you doing?
I like your delivery better.
I really held back from saying every line for as long as I could. And I apologize.
Okay. The whole elaborate system.
It must be fun to make a fake bomb for a movie. Because you just get to make a thing that looks like it'll explode real cool.
Right. flippy switches in there. You got it all.
There's like a motion sound for that last little crawl out the hatch. I don't know if that's real, but that seems.
Oh, like the
like
attachment
cool
on the rope?
Yeah, that was a cool way to attach to something.
God. If it was just this scene in another movie, it'd be the coolest scene in the movie. And the fact that you barely remember it because so much cool stuff happens in the movie. When they drop the elevator and fly up, so good.
Yeah, it would be like the key moment of any other movie.
Yes, that would be in every trailer. Oh, that's right. Oh, the weird door hopping on the fire. So much fun.
It reminds me in Mad Max Fury Road at the end when one of the rigs crashes. The steering wheel flies out. Yeah, that's a good gag. That's
okay, the water sprinklers. All right. You know what?
It's funny to get those serious dudes all wet.
Yeah. I guess that is pretty silly. You're right. Okay, this is... Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I've overthought this, or maybe this is the correct amount. But that always confused me because later on, the agent gets shot, but then the bullet is in a different spot when the body turns back. And I believe it's because the person whipped their head to the side when they're transforming. So technically things are misaligned. But look, this is a very small detail we can get to later.
It's like the texture wasn't mapped to the model.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, there it is. There it is.
That's pretty cool that no-name agent gets to have a cool moment like that.
Right, right.
Good for him,
All right, 360.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, why do you think he yelled for help from Trinity?
So that's it. That background is all CG, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. That's one of the really interesting uses of CG in this that you never realize.
Huh.
Why did he yell for Trinity?
Yeah, why does he go, Trinity, help? What was he looking for? Okay, so here it is. So it's in the side of the head.
Dodge this.
Was that the funny thing that you were talking about earlier?
No, it was the Wile E. Coyote jump.
Oh, okay. Okay.
See, the bullet was in between his eyes there. That was clearly the side of the head. Yeah, but what is he hoping to gain by saying Trinity help? Is he hoping hey, Trinity, shoot that guy? Or
I think so.
Okay, so it wasn't help with the dodging
Trinity,
anyway.
come over here and do the dodge this thing.
Okay.
And she did it. She did the thing.
Yeah.
We practiced it in that white room so many times, Trinity.
Yeah.
He didn't know that he could do the crazy Matrix, dip back.
He didn't know that he could move that fast.
Right.
Man, do you need some more liquid?
Oh, sure. I'll take one of these thingies. Thank you.
Oh, okay. You can reach it.
Yeah.
I think of it as those moments in games where you're really outnumbered in an FPS or something.
They're still
where are my teammates? And then you somehow manage to kill everyone.
That's right.
Just you're backed into a corner and panic.
Yeah, and you somehow become
everyone.
very good for an instant.
No. Oh, it's so
good.
And you got to have the floor soaked just so it looks like a mess. For the one, he was really spraying him. He wasn't really aiming too well there.
Yeah, Morpheus is definitely dead at this point.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Swiss cheese, that guy.
After all that work, it's like, oh, crap. I knew I got a little trigger happy. I should have taken out Morpheus this way. Oh, and then isn't there a shot from down below, too?
Oh, yeah, with all the casings clinging around.
Oh, my God. Show us the shot.
So, again, this all seems like pretty early high-speed camera work.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That could look so much smoother. Oh, that shot
cool.
there.
Everything.
Who would think of that shot? It's incredible.
Looks amazing.
Perfectly intact. Yeah, the morphing. Visually, not the strongest of the batch here.
I think part of it is how weird it looks.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is one of the flimsy justifications for the CG Agent Smiths and Reloaded. It is a computer simulation.
Right.
It is the Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty badass.
So do you think he was empowered to break the chains because now he believes that Neo's the one again? So it's him feeling righteous about making the correct call here?
Yeah.
This is...
Oh, God, I forgot about this.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was
I love that. Just zero hesitation. And he's already strapped in. He knew this was a possibility.
Yeah.
Oh.
Part of being the one is just being a good planner.
Yeah.
Right.
And having really strong sockets so your shoulders don't get ripped out.
Yeah.
Though, the fact that Morpheus was able to jump in any way after getting shot through this calf. Oh.
Oh.
Do you guys know if helicopter fuel looks like blood?
That's what I was just wondering.
It's the Matrix, man. Yeah, it's nice to give Morpheus the cool moment of breaking the chains, because the rest of him in the back of this movie is just him really kind of seeming like a dope.
Like, this is obviously green screen, but I thought some of the other helicopter hanging out stuff was real.
Really?
I mean,
like
that's, yeah.
That looks totally real.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he has on purple pants. That's all.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
That's
a good look.
Then he has to land on that shot up leg.
Yeah. It's not real pain. Don't worry. It's not real pain.
Oh, the mind makes it real.
Oh, crap.
Oh, God.
Oh, the little wrap he does around his arm.
Yes.
Do it, Neo. Hell yes.
He just knows that she's gonna do what it takes, and he won't get like ripped down by the entire helicopter.
Yeah.
Just he trusts that.
I like that they never unlatch anything; they just shoot it.
Yeah. It's like Homer with the beer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this, like, the ripple is so good. I remember always being confused. Like, is that just because it's slow motion, or is that because it's the Matrix? It's just because it's slow motion, right? In theory,
so.
Anything would do that.
I think it's just because it's cool.
It is just undoubtedly the coolest thing.
The trucks and the Reloaded crash
I love
do
this.
that thing. They
really?
accordion.
I love that
fold
bonus
up.
just like wiggling on the like a fish on a hook.
Yes.
Sorry, keep going.
No. I had nothing else to say.
God.
God.
That shot was just the best. God.
Just kiss already.
Come
it's going to be very important for the lore that you kiss.
Come on, yeah. Trinity.
That's pretty
Only
cool,
kiss.
huh?
He's the guy.
You got to have faith, Neo. Come on.
But at this point, because the Oracle told Trinity that she would fall in love with the one.
Right.
And similarly, was she not to tell anyone else? So Morpheus doesn't know that she falls in love with the one. If he does, it's making it really weird, because then he's constantly like, do you love him yet?
Right.
Are you in love with him
That would be
yet?
very uncomfortable.
He just saved you from a helicopter. What about now?
Keanu Reeves, I'm still trying to understand the arc of his career, of everybody thinking he was a joke and a bad actor, and then he was the coolest person in the world. And then, am I wrong? I feel like there was a big dip after The Matrix where everybody started to go back to that train of, oh, he's a bad actor. Isn't it funny the way he says, whoa, and I know Kung Fu. And then in the John Wick era, it just became, no, he's undoubtedly the coolest guy. Right? I'm trying to remember how low that dip got post-Matrix. I feel like it got low.
I don't remember.
I don't know. He was pretty cool in a Scanner Darkly.
Okay,
that's
all
right.
right. Big Scanner Darkly
With Robert
fan.
Downey Jr. too, right? Wasn't?
I think so,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did have like a dip, but
I think that our generation was robbed. I think our Keanu Reeves was Paul Walker, where it's like similarly a very charismatic guy.
Yeah.
Not always the greatest actor, but enthusiastic and sincere and takes his job seriously.
Yeah.
And that is what people find so, likable about.
yeah, I think there was also a move on his part to do a lot more low-key stuff after being in all this craziness.
We did like The Day the Earth Stood Still. Like he's still going for like blockbusters.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh.
Is that dinosaurs? Is that
No,
aliens?
that's aliens. Yeah, he played like an alien, which is a very Keanu Reeves move. Of just like he was very just like, I came to Earth for this reason. It was just all flat, monotone stuff.
Ooh.
It's like Arnold playing the Terminator.
Right.
You're like, seems like a good fit. Better fit in Terminator.
Yes.
As it turns out.
But it reminds me of like, God, I forget her name in Firefly, the like psychic lady who's also like the very flat one, and then she went on to play the Terminator in the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yes.
It's like, oh, she's just typecast as like in a Keanu Reeves way, like I will be the flat tone here no matter what.
This is the other kind of sort of trans metaphor in this, is that he goes by Neo, and the white guy in a suit keeps calling him Mr. Anderson. Like keeps dead naming him over and over.
Have the Wachowskis, I wonder, talked about that, or is it just, I wonder even to what level they'd say, yeah, I guess there are those themes there, but it wasn't a conscious thought.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't I don't know that I've read them talking about it.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, it's cool. It's just
a drink.
Been claimed. Oh, here we go. Oh. They could have saved one bullet, right? You don't need to fire 3 into the train. Oh.
Well, see, at this point, Smith is trying to separate himself from the system. So I guess he makes human mistakes just like Neo.
Right, right.
Oh, I remember in the behind the scenes, they made a note of,
come on,
they both had to get really dusty. So like you could see people loading them up with dust so that they would fly off when they got hit.
Oh, not the sunglasses. What a voice. Yes. Oh, so good, Hugo Weaving. Oh,
God. That would hurt. Oh, the double kick, so good.
You wonder, like, was Hugo Weaving like, yeah, I really like all the philosophical aspects of the script. I guess I can do the fighting if I have to.
Right.
Or was it vice versa? Was he like, hell yeah, I want to do a Kung Fu movie?
I would hope it's that, yeah. Has he done much voice work? Like, for a voice as powerful as that, has he done many animated things? I can't think of anything. That's really weird.
You'd think he would be in, like, one of the big tier
CGs. Here it is. Of course, yeah, he's Megatron. I forgot.
Oh
yeah. In all the Transformers?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh, dang.
There's a picture of Weaving at the Matrix Revolutions premiere. Just completely dejected.
This is also how audiences looked after the Matrix Revolutions.
I wish it was called Matrix Refunded. Oh,
Jesus.
Hell yeah.
Could you guys remember just in the theater, after seeing all the awesome stuff we already saw, and then it's like, where does this even go from here? And then they keep ramping it up somehow.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. The action ratchets up at this. Oh, that little quick with his
neck fingers.
But like the same way that the philosophy and the layers keep ratcheting up. That's the amazing thing about this movie is like the action just keeps getting better and better as you go up too. Like so few movies can pull that off. Oh. And this reminds me of the best thing that I remember about Revolutions, like also when he's stuck in that limbo of the subway system and it like loops around so it like runs through one side and comes out the end. That was so cool.
Oh yeah.
They're really into train stations. Oh. Yeah. I really need to rewatch Speed, by the way.
I watched that 2 weeks ago.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is it still good?
Yeah, it's still very fun.
Oh, God.
Dennis Hopper really chews on that material.
Oh, my God.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Sandy Bullock, just a charmer.
Yeah, she's good. She's good as like, the like every woman caught in a harrowing situation but takes charge.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
What is Dennis Hopper saying? I'm smarter than you. I'm smarter than you. Is that what his line is?
I forget.
And then he goes, yeah, but I'm taller. And then he gets decapitated.
Yes.
So sick. Yeah.
That is the line.
That's awesome.
I forgot that Jeff Daniels was in that movie.
Oh, really?
Speed. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that completely.
He's Keanu's partner.
What a nice touch that is to be like, not have quite full balance. Like he could have just landed real cool, like superhero pose, but he's just like,
that's like Sonic. And Sonic stands
exactly
on
like
Sonic.
Sonic.
Probably where they got the idea.
That's so great. Like such a huge victory, and then it's just like didn't even matter.
Well,
I think just like right there.
I think that's important is to not make Neo just invincible. Obviously, it kind of seems like he gets there, but not really. In the sequels, it's still like, oh no, he's still very fallible. They set it up very clearly in Reloaded that like he's not immortal. He's not Superman here. But I think that's important here is like he seems so unstoppable, but still he's like, whoa, like he still might fall into the train,
Mm-hmm.
It's the
5, maybe 6 minutes. Let's see, real time.
Start the timer.
This takes.
Let's go. And this is my favorite, very dorky thing, but Brad Bird talked about it with The Incredibles, about just making your heroes seem fallible. And he said that like the problem with every superhero movie is it starts with a big action set piece which tries to make the hero look as cool as possible, and therefore then there are very few stakes the rest of the movie because you seem to do this amazing thing. And that's why like the opening set piece for The Incredibles is Mr. Incredible failing to get like the cat out of the tree, failing, the bomb goes off. Like it's nothing but him messing up. So the rest of the movie, you have the sense of like this could go bad at any second.
Even Incredibles 2, they like fail to catch the mole man.
Yeah, the Underminer. Please show him his respect.
Mole man.
Oh, this is so good. Like just having them warp into these new people as you're going around.
I love this. The door.
Yeah, like he still needs help. Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it just appears now.
They just hack a door into the Matrix. I
do wish that a cat had to meow every time they hacked the Matrix.
Sounds like Mario Paint at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like...
Bowser's Fury. Give me a cat suit so I can climb to the top of the building.
Oh, God.
So one thing that's kind of lost, I think, in this particular color grading of the film was that like a lot of the outfits
that was so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot of the outfits had like a green tinge to them, so they like actually through costuming reinforced that green motif.
Interesting.
They even make a garbage jump look cool.
Did you Alex, did you ever play the greatest game ever made, Driver San Francisco?
I did not. I played a lot of the first Driver.
Okay.
But Driver San Francisco is where you can ghost into other cars.
It's exactly right? It is the best Matrix game ever made. I would argue because it's basically the reloaded like highway scene, right, where you're like teleporting around and becoming these other cars. Yeah, it's so good.
That's a great era. That's 360, right?
Yep.
That also contains the Wheelman with Vin Diesel,
where
he can hop between cars, which is kind of similar.
Yeah. So how does that work? He just like jumps out? Does he jump through the window into the other window?
Yeah, he gets. I think he maybe gets on top of the car and hops over, or he just does like a straight. He can jump forward onto a car. He can jump backward. He can jump every direction you want.
He's the Wheelman.
He's the Wheelman. But yeah, that was a great era for weird, funky driving games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, well, I guess this was PS2, but Stuntman and then Stuntman Ignition, I think was 360, right?
So good.
Good.
Burnout was that era too.
The finest.
Oh my God.
Radical Racing, is that the name of that game? Rumble Racing? It's one where you're doing tricks and stuff.
Auto Modelista was like the cell shaded racing game.
Ooh, very good memory.
I really love that game.
Squaresoft released.
So again, for all the font heads, you're still seeing that OCR B or A. I don't know which. There's two versions. You're still seeing that in all those.
You should really do your research.
You're showing up in this studio not knowing fonts.
Yeah. That is amazing. That's
I love it. He's just right there with the gunshot. And just the music cuts out. It's so good. I wish I could have seen this in the theater. Like that moment, I bet just killed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this movie has so many twists and turns that you're like constantly like catching up as a viewer.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, if you could go back in time and see any movie opening night, what would you go for, do you think? Other than the train coming towards the camera.
Stuff that I didn't actually see?
Yeah. I guess, or just re-experience. I mean, could be either.
I don't know. My favorite movie is Unforgiven. It's Clint Eastwood.
Really?
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
I've never seen it. I never would have guessed that.
It's the perfect Western. Wow. It's so good. But also, it's not like one that is made demonstrably better by seeing it on a big screen.
Sure. But I think I'd want the audience reaction. You know, that's like the thrill.
I think for me, it's got to be Star Wars: A New Hope. Before it was called A New Hope, it was just everyone was going in. I'll check out this outer space movie.
Right.
And just to see the original cut, because it's been messed with so many times on the original print, and just see all those 70s people just seeing it for the first time, being like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, gouging their eyes out. Like, just hanging out in the lobby after that screening, just see what are they talking about. Because I remember hearing things that now seem absurd, but of course make sense, where like after Star Wars, people didn't know what Darth Vader was. They thought like, so he's a robot and all the stormtroopers are robots. Just like those basic concepts were still big question marks of like, I assume he's a robot.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because he had like the, you know, like, and to another point, like Empire Strikes Back would have been insane to see, because they kept that whole I'm your father stuff a secret.
Yeah.
It might have been easier to do before social media and stuff, but holy crap, that was like a huge bomb drop.
Yeah. And I know it's a cliche because, biggest movies of all time and all that stuff, but like I really am really happy that I got to experience like the Infinity War and Endgame in theaters. Like that was really incredible to be in the room, hearing those reactions.
Yes,
just the moments of surprise.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was very cool. And the fact that they ended up being good was a big deal.
A miracle, just a miracle. Okay, here it is. Now this is as good as it gets. When you start to see his vision. Oh, and he plucks the bullet out of the air. And then he does a little hand wave. Oh, they all drop. Oh, not even a hand wave, just his eyes. He lowers all the other bullets.
Oh, and just the code is going crazy.
Yeah.
We like this. We like this. Yeah. Oh, the soundtrack is so good. Who composed this? Don Davis did the soundtrack.
Just doesn't even. Oh, one hand.
Come on. You're the one. You don't need to be cocky about it.
Bone breaks.
Yeah.
That's an interesting subtitle.
Bone breaks.
I did not realize he broke his arm there.
And the lift afterward.
That's some core strength right there.
He is enjoying this.
Hip flexor action.
And then
oh, yeah.
he jumps into his belly button.
This composer has not done that much.
The jump in looked pretty good. This still looks good. Oh, God. The face.
The eyeball is the one that always kills me. Stop it. No, don't come out the forehead. No. So awesome. The face goes by the screen.
Oh, God. The pulse.
Yeah.
Just every detail.
Hey, you know what? This might be the greatest movie ever made. I mean,
It's a very good.
who are you going to argue with? Like, if you were hanging out at a party and someone said, objectively, it is the best film ever made, you can't argue with that.
I think it's a stance that you could take. I mean, like, it's very similar to Jurassic Park in that it's like such a tight script. Like, like there's no unnecessary stuff in here. Like,
yeah,
and it would easily could have easily been overloaded with all the explaining they have to do and world building.
It's so close to being a mess at all points, and somehow it's just a masterpiece. I do remember, like, even the first time I watched it, just to completely undercut everything we're talking about, being like, the real world, I don't give a crap about the robots going into the ship in the real world. Like, I just want all cool stuff in the Matrix.
I think that was what a lot of people didn't like about the sequels.
Right, especially at Revolutions, it's just basically all the real world, right?
I mean, they still have cool mechs. They have mechs that shoot guns.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I guess.
Yay, they did it.
That's beautiful.
Finally acknowledge their feelings.
That's all we've been asking for. Do you think that Neo called himself Neo as an anagram of one? That was like a subconscious thing, kind of like the way he's like picking up hints or whatever in Matrix Resurrections. So he had like an inkling that something was up.
Maybe.
Do you think? Or is it,
yes.
Okay. Oh wow, confident. Yes, we got.
I like that system failure is off center just to annoy people like me.
Right.
Did someone call? The other people called him Neo, right?
Yeah, she knew he was Neo.
Oh, okay.
All his
How'd you know that name?
Druggy friends.
Right.
Yeah.
What a cool way to end a movie, too. Just like after the huge set piece, it's just like a threatening phone call.
Yeah. Mr. President. His hands shaking. And I love that idea. He's still looking at the phone just like he's tripping. Like he's just seeing the world so differently and not used to it. Oh, it's so cool.
God, such great use of Rage Against the Machine, too.
Perfect.
I mean, very on the nose. Rage Against the Machine.
Right,
but
right.
That was also the same with the trailer music.
Exactly.
It's like so on the nose.
You gotta do it, I guess.
I kind of love it.
Now he has the coolest sunglasses.
That's right.
He's posing for the sequels. And then...
They're just a little bit off. Which I don't know is even possible.
And then he's changing characters in GTA 5, and then he flies out.
This is an interesting shot. Like, because we're used to seeing that now with drone photography, but like at the time, that sort of like high up angle, like not used to that.
Right.
You have to like pay for like a super expensive chopper
I don't know.
shot. And even then, it wouldn't be like perfectly still.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'm trying to think of any other movie with that amazing of a final shot. Because I remember watching this for the first time and just like saying, what, like having still, after everything, for have the final shot still be this moment of like, are you kidding me? That's the coolest thing ever. Of course he can fly now. They fly now, as a wise man once said.
They fly now.
I mean, is there any other final shot that competes? I'm really racking my brain.
Ooh, it's tough.
I mean,
I think it's number one final shot.
I feel like this is like the 100th time I've mentioned Jurassic Park on this.
Sure.
But when they're flying away and they show the birds, like I feel like that's like a pretty good shot.
It's a beautiful little thing, but
after Tim being like, other people say they don't turn into birds, but I believe you that they do turn into birds. I don't.
It's beautiful.
But it's not a man.
But the final shot is technically, I think, the helicopter is still like going into the sunset, right? You know, it's not quite there.
I defer to you on all things Jurassic Park.
Well, thank you.
If we keep it in the '99 era, I remember being very blown away by the Fight Club finale with like that's the first time I ever heard the Pixies.
Yeah,
like, that song
same
playing,
here.
and like them just kissing as the buildings crumble and fall behind them.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
Because it's still, after so many times I've seen Fight Club, that still is such a weird idea. Like, oh yeah, that ends with them just killing hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah,
and the entire city coming down. It's multiple buildings, right?
I think it's like all the banks,
right?
Credit,
right.
So.
Yeah, it is a bold move. Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Which is a very different ending from the book. The book does not end that way.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Has anybody rewatched Fight Club since we all were obsessed with it?
I have not.
Not in a long time.
Because, it's a potent combo. Like, Fight Club Matrix coming out when you're 12. Like, that'll really mess you up.
In the age of, like, alt-right nationalists and stuff, I'm sure it'd be very interesting watch now where a bunch of, like, white guys pretend like they're the victims.
That's what I'm wondering is how is that thing going to age?
Yeah. It's probably not good.
I mean, I still love it so much in my mind. I want to go back to it.
I mean, scene to scene, though, it's got to be so many cool
I mean, it's a David Fincher movie, so I'm sure it's like beautifully shot and like really interesting to look at.
Right.
But as far as the content,
there's probably a lot of wincy stuff.
Yeah.
Which, for this, I gotta say, effects looked great.
Yeah.
The lines I was just all like, instead of being like, oh, that's cheesy now. You know, like
everything's great.
Yeah.
It really is there's no other movie that comes close for the coolest movie ever made. I mean, it's just unimpeachably cool.
This had like such a big impact, like outside of like, well, I guess trench coats.
Not the greatest connotation. It had some negative impacts, but other than that,
like there were a lot of the aesthetics from this movie seeped into other parts of pop culture in a way that like most movies don't. No one dressed like Avengers Endgame after Avengers Endgame, you know?
Yeah,
like it was
absolutely.
That's true. So,
yeah, and I mean, it's an impossibly high bar for Matrix Resurrections to try and clear, to just try and get anywhere close to this.
I have faith.
I'm very curious. I will have a good time watching that movie no matter what.
I am Morpheus in this scenario. I am the Wachowski religious fanatic
honestly,
who has full trust.
If it is at the quality level of somewhere between Reloaded and Revolutions, you're saying you'll be happy with it?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wowza. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm happy for you.
You're like, I'm happy. Yeah.
I'm hoping for it to be somewhat decent. I really would love it to be, at least somewhere close to this first movie. Obviously, it would be great if it just blew me away completely. But I had a lot more expectation, I think, for 2 and 3. Yeah. Because I'd been like doing all the research and like watching it a million times and watching all the behind the scenes stuff and doing all the side content. And for this, I'm just like, it's going to come. And hopefully it's going to be great. I'm going to enjoy myself.
I mean, let it wash over you.
It's too stupid to make the direct comparison, but it does feel a little bit like just the Star Wars thing. Of like, we've been burned as bad as we can be burned.
Yep.
Show me the worst case scenario. Force Awakens, a fun movie. No harm done. I enjoyed it. And so that's like, I feel like best case scenario for Resurrection.
A friend once made the case to me that Force Awakens is a excellent movie up until Starkiller Base shows up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
When you watch it and like, as soon as that happens, it turns.
Yeah.
I hope Resurrections is not that.
Yeah,
I hope there's no Starkiller Base.
I hope so too. Yeah. And like honestly, if I could choose between it being a solid action movie that's really digging deep on the nostalgia for the first one, or something new and weirder, I would definitely be happy with the weirder route. Yeah. And like it seems like, who knows if this is real, but there were like some test screenings where people were saying that it was more in that vein of like, this definitely feels more like a Revolutions Reloaded thing, everybody. Don't expect the original Matrix again, which is, of course, impossible to recreate the original Matrix. But I will be happy if at least there's some weird ideas and Twitter erupts for weeks with people arguing about it. That seems like almost a secret best case scenario. Alex, you're too smart. You got off Twitter. You're not going to be able to experience that. Hero. Hero. Hero.
I'm done. Yeah. Washed my hands.
Okay.
But I did get back on Twitter to tweet.
What? Take back the applause. Outrageous.
I showed back up just to tweet the teaser website for the Matrix Resurrections because that is a moment that is worthy of a return. But then I deleted that tweet and backed off of Twitter again. So I am off Twitter. Yeah.
Because somebody responded. Yeah. Fix Destiny or something like
that. Because I have control over that. Yeah. So
yeah, I can see why you just want to be off forever. Yeah.
Just be done.
What a mess. Hey, The Matrix, one of the best.
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. I could not be more in love with that movie. It's aged beautifully well. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this, for joining us on this journey. If you synced it up and watched it along with us, you know what to do. Tweet at MinnMax and give us that special hashtag. Come on, social media, Brian. Where you going?
MinnMax Matrix.
Give us that hashtag MinnMax Matrix. We know that you're hardcore. You're in there, and we'll give you an emoji present as a big response. Write this down, Brian. Emoji present.
Emoji present. You got it.
Okay, thank you. Cool. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Alex, what do you want to plug, man? Where do you want to push people?
I don't know. Destiny 2 available on Xbox Game Pass. Play for free.
I always forget that it's on Game Pass. That really is crazy.
It is.
That is so much.
It's a lot of game.
Yeah.
It's a lot of game. Man. For better or worse. Mostly for better.
Okay.
But,
there it is.
Just, but, like all MMOs, it's good to go in with a friend, I think. So,
yes. Exactly. Find some hardcore
you're offering to guide anyone of the MinnMax listeners through.
Okay, well, this was a lot of fun, guys.
Awesome. Brian, what do you want to plug?
Well, my Twitter is Brian_Vor, but also it'd be great if you wanted to follow more MinnMax stuff. We have a nice Instagram with a lot of fun things on there.
There's fun things.
So check out MinnMax on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe on YouTube.
Look at this. He's doing all the social media.
Follow on Twitch.
I didn't do my Instagram. I didn't. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you follow MinnMax on Instagram? You should.
I don't, and I will. I did on Twitter, but I got off Twitter.
That's fine. Yeah, what is your Instagram? It's got to just be like
is it public?
It's dumb. It's the Alex and the Grinling, like the Fast and the Furious.
Nice.
So yeah, last name Grinling, like friend with the G and a ling. So
that's perfect.
Yep, that's me.
We'll tag it in the Instagram post about this commentary.
There you go.
My God, Brian, you're saying with the picture I'm about to take right now?
We gotta get you. We gotta get you into it.
All right. Okay. And then it's gonna be kind of like this. Okay, ready? Camera on the left. 3, 2, 1. To see our smiley faces, check out Instagram. All right, this is gross. This is just us plugging crap.
This is like a real Matrix transmedia. We're going.
That's right.
The
story is complete on Instagram.
The Backstage pass is completely dropping off.
That's right. We apologize, everybody. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'd love to do more commentary tracks in the future. Let us know what you'd like us to do. I know what I want to do. I want to do a movie that I referenced during this commentary track at some point in the future. And I want to do a Jurassic Park commentary track. I think like
how have you not done that? You're Ben Hansen.
Because I'm saving it because when things start to ramp up for Jurassic Park Dominion, is that the name of the new one? Whenever that trailer starts to drop, like I want to do a whole look. This is just for you listeners, but I want to do like a big celebration of Jurassic Park and make it like a multi-week event, like a month event of just like doing all this special bonus stuff, just to like unload all of my love and seal it in a beautiful gift forever.
So you're stopping before Jurassic World, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Although, I was just talking to Dan Reichert about this. I still am in the camp of, like, I think I still like Fallen Kingdom more than Jurassic World.
I did not see Fallen Kingdom.
It's at least interesting. It's at least going for something different other than, well, things are on the island and things are breaking down, you know?
Yeah. The way that they treated all the Jurassic Park is great because they're all treated as animals.
Yes.
And then by that point they're just scary monsters.
Full on monsters. Yeah, it's a
That's just not interesting to me.
I am 100% with you. The idea that like it always drove me nuts in I think a little bit Lost World also kind of veers into this territory with the raptors and stuff, but whenever the dinosaurs are just like ravenous, they will not care about their own amount of self-harm just so they can get a bite of a person. It's like, how hungry are these things? Have you ever seen like a grizzly bear like just like losing its freaking mind like that? Like they're still aware and conscious and just being animals. That's what
they take the nice cartoonish bites out of metal doors and things like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, it's just absurd.
I've never been to metal door when I'm hungry. Maybe I haven't been hungry enough. So.
That's right. All right, everybody, it's probably time to wrap it up, but thanks so much for listening. We appreciate the support, and we'll see you some other time in the future for a new commentary track from MinnMax. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye. Yell bye.
Bye.
And then on the count of 3, we all have to make the sound of the Matrix going down Neo's throat to say goodbye. That's actually how it works.
Okay.
So we say the word goodbye, and then we transition the word bye into the sound of the Matrix going down his throat.
Can you... Can you make it happen, or do we make it?
No, we physically all have to do it ourselves.
Okay, this is our own
so
effect.
It goes all something like this. Goodbye! All right.
Okay.
And that's the Matrix, everybody.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.